Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk, where we have unfiltered, uncensored, uncomfortable conversation. All right. Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk, where we have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversations about band, HBCU, band culture, music education, and more. Let me go ahead and introduce the panel. To my right, we got Chief.
What up, though, everybody? Good to see you. Good. Looking forward to good conversation today. Hope everybody's doing well.
Good to see you, brother. Right under him, we got Portia. My bad.
What?
My bad.
Good evening, everybody. You didn't mess me up with that one.
Yeah, starting bad already. And then we got Quan.
Everybody, my bad. Long day.
We all wrong today.
Long day. But hey, everybody, how y'all doing?
And then this guy coming in with this mess. We got Rick.
That's that real. See, y'all some haters, dog. I really realized that y'all some haters.
Hey, bro, like,
nobody said anything.
but you know what it is though. So one week you fussed at me and Luke about we
wearing
always start on the ice. Won't never wear no.
Yep.
Y'all wear every week.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
But the first thing you throw up is the hooks. The first thing every episode you throw up the hooks, bro. Thank you, bro. Thank you.
No, I gotta do Rick's favorite.
Got them hook daddies going.
The hook daddies.
You know what I'm saying?
All right, man. Let's go ahead and get this thing started, man. I'm telling you, this is going to be a great show today. Well, you know, we got to start the way we always start, man. Is anybody seen anything that has happened in the music arena, anything that's happened in the band, man, that you guys want to share? I will actually start off. There's been some negative stuff, but I'm gonna start off with some positive. I'm glad to see that DCI has been announcing some of their show concepts, so I'm definitely excited to see that. So there we go. I'm gonna start off positive. Now, if you decide to go in the negative route, that's on you. I mean, that's a decision that you make. I don't mind you bringing it up. We're gonna have a conversation about it. All right, Chief. Anything?
Yeah, man. I want to give a special shout out to my boy Chad Hughes at Morehouse College. Man, he's doing his thing down there. Just got his 10-year professorship, so I'm really happy and excited for him, man. He's doing really great things with the whole program, so I'm really just happy that he's working things out at Morehouse, man. So shout out to Chad, man. Go back to Detroit, man. What up, though?
All right, cool. Yeah, that's definitely great. I saw that go past my timeline.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an amazing thing. And if I'm not mistaken, it's not many brothers that are tenured at historic.
I think it's like 6 total in the country.
Yeah. So definitely,
Dr. Zachary is one of them.
Yeah,
HBCUs, obviously, you know what we're talking about. Yeah.
All right, Rick, what you got, bro?
Yeah, I'm staying away from the messy stuff, but it's a mess out there. But shout out to
unfiltered, but I guess not. Guess we filtered.
No, I ain't going that unfiltered.
I'm lost, so I was kind of
talk
about it. I'm lost. I don't know what they're talking about.
I need you to talk about it because I don't know. I'm gonna eat these gummy bears though.
No. Shout out to the Houston Battle of the Bands, sponsored by Pepsi, announcing those bands that are going. Yeah. North Carolina A&T representing for the East Coast, Kentucky State.
I'm about to say shout out to Kentucky
love. State. Yeah, shout out to Kentucky State. People have noticed. You know, y'all been doing it for years, but now the nation is starting to notice. So shout out to Kentucky State, Alabama A&M, all these great band programs. It's in Houston and Prairie View is in it, but for some reason Texas Southern is not. So that's whatever. Um, I'm sure, especially with all that. Shout out to Texas Southern, especially like Jovan and what Dr. Pollard and what Brian and those guys are doing, man. Like every time I get on social media, I see a video or something of a new student that they've recruited to the Ocean of Soul, man. And when we all do better, we are all in a better position. Right. I had a chance to chop it up with Javon. That's a good brother, man. I would hope to in the future get a chance to speak with Brian. Our paths have crossed, but we never had an opportunity to have a conversation. But I respect with it. He's a sharp brother, man. So shout out to the Ocean of Soul, man. Every time all this good recruitment that they're doing, hopefully they're able to get the numbers back up there, man. We want to see black bands flourish. DCI, you brought up DCI, man. A lot of exciting stuff happening right now. Phantom Regiment just premiered their uniforms. Like we're in the midst of like premiere season. Man, the room which we put out our first cryptic stuff today, and I'm telling y'all right now, I cannot wait for y'all to see our show because it's gonna be legit, man. Like we're in good shape. So shout out to the DCI community. I'm sure we'll talk about that throughout the summer. Whenever I'm able to join y'all, I actually move into spring training on next Thursday, and I'll be gone for a while. So we're gonna make it work, y'all. So next next Wednesday will be probably my last show for a while. So everybody keep it up, man. And if I can jump in, I will. But I'll leave it there for now. I'm sure we got a lot to talk about. So yeah,
man. I know that you will go absent and go missing for a while, bro. But I'm gonna try to talk to you dang near every other day, because I'll be trying to get them sneak peek daddies. But man, if you can slide through, man, you always know that we gonna let you in some type of way, even if you hitting the smash and you just like, hey man, let me come here real quick. But yeah, man, definitely, man. Good luck to you, man, on the road, and we're definitely gonna be following you, bro. Quan, anything for you, bro? And before, I know you're gonna announce it anyway, but congratulations on your grant, man. 100%. You and your babies and your kiddos, man. So congratulations. That's definitely a blessing. But go ahead and talk about it for the people who don't know.
Yeah. Well, let me start with a couple of things. So first of all, like we say, shout out to TSU. Shout out to Prof Redding. They did an outstanding job for their wind ensemble. We always speak about cranking that wind ensemble. They did an awesome job. That program was really, really good. So, big ups to him. Overall, the aspect of balancing, music departments amongst HBCU. So that's first of all. Number two, shout out to Rick. I know you didn't say it, but he was in the Teacher of the Month at UConn. So, I know he's a shout out to him. That's not a small feat at a predominantly white institution, but they see his greatness. So big ups to him. And one thing that I did look at this week, and I don't know why, I must be homesick. I was looking at St. Augustine in the early 80s and 90s. And man, it was like low-key nostalgic looking at those old Mardi Gras parades, looking at their old football games. And then I think I saw one where it was like 2004. They came to the Astrodome and they did a battle of the band. So, kind of nostalgic remembering those bands in New Orleans back in the day. I was looking at that. But in regards to the blessing that I received $10,000 from the Lighthouse for Students, which is a Christian organization that helps our kids here at Worthing. They've been supporting me since I've arrived here, and they've been one of the biggest supporters. Anything that we've asked, when I didn't have instruments, they asked around Houston. They found 15 instruments of assorted instruments from trombones to clarinet, so forth and so on. Donated that to us. They've taken us under their arm, expose us to different things through their ministry. And now we've received $10,000. So God is good. And this is just some of the things that, as band directors, we have to do when sometimes the district is not willing. You have to go out and find the means to get it done. So, thank everybody that, supports this band program, and the best is yet to go.
Absolutely, man. Once again, man, that's definitely a blessing for you and your program, for your kids, man. Just keep pushing, man. Just keep grinding, and great things will happen, man. So I'm definitely happy for you, bro. All right, Portia, what you got?
I honestly don't have very much. I've had my head down. It's audition time for me. The Legion is planning, so I have literally meetings every day this week, something to do every day this week except for Friday. I do want to shout out Maya and Sean Zachary on our first show last week. The feature, I thought it was dope. We had some really good conversation, and it was just refreshing to kind of figure out, that we're experiencing some of the same things, and that we share some of the same ideas, but also have differences of opinion when it comes to certain things. So definitely tune in, more to come, and we'll try to provide insight, from the perspective of auxiliary. So that's all I have.
Yes, big shout out to you. Did it. I was actually gonna do it, but big shout out to the feature. Yo, I'm gonna be honest. If you haven't, and if you're watching right now, if you haven't checked out any of the other shows that are on the channel, go check them out, man. And I will tell you, the feature was super dope. They do have an Instagram page, and their Instagram page is like getting followers and all these likes and stuff, and I'm paying attention to all the stuff that's going on, man. And so if you haven't checked out the show, go back and watch their show. Go back and watch Crystal's show. If you haven't caught a lot of these shows that we've had, go check out a lot of those shows that we've had in the past, man. I mean there's a lot going on in this channel. I'm talking to somebody right now about the possibility of another show on here, but I'm gonna keep that quiet for now until they're ready to make a decision, because it's a super dope concept. But we're gonna just kind of keep it there. So if you haven't done so, man, subscribe to the network, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notifications. I'm telling you, it's a lot of great things happening on this channel, and a lot of ideas that are circulating through the channel. So, man, if you haven't done that, go ahead and do that. All right, man, let's go ahead and get this started. I don't know where Rick or Quan went. I didn't even recognize they were gone. Anyway,
the smooth dip off.
Right. He eating Brussels sprouts. That's what he tipped off to eating Brussels daddies. And Quan probably got a bowl of them next to him too. All right, though. I do want to say this before we get into the first topic. I said that I was going to do it, and I definitely did it. The whole panel knows. So if you haven't done it yet, go by the store and go pick up your shirts. I did 2 different shirts, okay? The no glazing shirts is definitely in the store. As a matter of fact, and probably somewhere in the middle of the show, I will show you the 2 options that we have for the shirt. I think they're super dope. I'm telling you, they're super dope to me. All right. So if you watch the show, if you watch last week's show, you'll know exactly what we're talking about. Go back to last week's show, check out the show, and understand what we're talking about, and then go pick up your merch, man. I'm telling you, it's a super dope shirt. All right, let's go ahead and get this thing started, man. Let's do it the right way. Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk, where we have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversations about band, HBCU band culture, music education, and more, man. Go ahead and smash that like daddy as soon as you come into the room. I don't care if you watch it on Facebook or if you're watching on YouTube, smash that like daddy, man, and we definitely appreciate it. Also, subscribe to the Passion Is Network. I've already said that. If you're watching on Facebook, just come over to the YouTube, subscribe to the Passion Is Network, and turn on notifications. This episode will be up tomorrow on all your podcasting networks. Just make sure you type in Real Talk That Talk, except for Apple Podcasts, where you just need to type in Talk That Talk, and it'll come up for you. All right. Let's get this. Good morning, Crystal. How you doing? Let's get this first topic out of the way. This has actually been a series of topics that I was thinking about and I have been thinking about for a while. And it just so happened that Quan texted me, was like, I got a question, and it fell right in line with the topic that I had. So let me go ahead and ask this first question. But the way I want to start this question is like this. We talk a lot about the progression of African American and Black band directors, HBCU music education programs, and things of that nature, right? And we talk about progressing them forward and moving them forward and putting them in different spaces. Let me ask you guys this question. Do Black band directors want to be in other positions? So think about this, like really think about this. Not see, Rick is like looking like crazy, right? Because generally we're always talking from the perspective of moving into different spaces, right? Being able to be versatile in what and where you're teaching, things of that nature, right? So does the majority of Black band directors want to be in other positions other than being in, just around our culture? So that's the question. Do directors want dang, I be messing this up. I typed this yesterday. Let me retype that. But do Black band directors want other positions? All right. Chief, go ahead and start it off, bro.
That's a loaded question for me. Many people that I know, so many people that I know that are band directors, Black band directors, come from programs where the culture was all about, building the overall person and community aspects and just like almost like this family environment. So many people when they that come from that type of programs that go into being a band director themselves, they want to recreate those environments. And oftentimes the idea is that they want to recreate those environments within the communities that they feel may be underserved or that they were served through. So if I come from, like, I'm teaching in Newark, I came from Detroit. I specifically wanted to teach in an urban inner city. That's what I was looking for. I wasn't, it doesn't mean that I wouldn't want to teach another space, but I also feel like, um, if I feel like I'm good at my job, I want to be in a space where our students are receiving quality music education. You know what I mean? Because oftentimes we are talking about programs that don't have certain things, that don't have this understanding of this and the other. And I want to be both. I want to be both the family environment of the band program, but also musicality of it needs to be second to none. We need to also have that as the main part of the program as well. So for me, many of the Black band directors I know look or seek out programs that reflect their college programs or their high school programs. So it doesn't necessarily mean that they wouldn't want to take other jobs, but they seem to kind of follow those same paths because that's you kind of go towards many times what you came from. People who have core backgrounds, they may end up teaching core in college or in other areas in their lives because that's the background they come from. So that's how I see it. I don't think it's that they don't want to. It's not a lack of something. It's a more interest in something else. You know what I mean? I see it like that. I have more interest in being a part of the urban inner city culture than I do other places. But that comes with the caveat, with all the bull crap that comes with some of those situations. But while the adults argue, the kids suffer. So, you know, being there for those kids and giving those opportunities are real important. So many people do look to those environments to create that family environment and push the music forward.
Okay. Bet. Rick, thank you for putting that weak ass horn up. Do Black band directors want other positions?
Really, man? Hell no. Golly, what a crazy ass question, man. But whatever. No. Like, and I think that question even feeds into this narrative that people are trying to push that all we try to do is follow the white folks. No, that ain't true. We try to follow excellence. And for some reason, excellence has been synonymous with other types of bands. On one hand, like, I've learned a lot on this by doing this show, man, especially from people like Justin, man, and some others I've had opportunity, Chuck, and some other people I've had an opportunity to talk to. But that is not our objective whatsoever. Oh my God. I'm sitting up here talking and you got the glazing shirt up on the dang on screen.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to make sure we saw it.
Man. And you got just glaze. It's supposed to be no glazing. We
Oh, we gonna
don't want people to glaze.
no, the phrase was just glaze when we did it on the show.
Tight. Well,
But go ahead,
anyway.
my bad.
Yeah, man. It just our programs have a lot that they offer, right? To the student, to the community. You know, that's a big part of it too, right? Like that was one thing I used to love about Norfolk State, man, is that like I used to hate doing it, that dang on homecoming parade. But when we used to do that parade, man, the city used to come the hell out for Norfolk State Band, bro. Like you marching up, what is that, Virginia Beach Boulevard, and that thing was packed. It was people everywhere.
8 o'clock in the morning.
Doing
Day?
your favorite joint. Oh,
Oh my god! Oh, I hated it. Bus stop, hated bus stop. But every time we played bus stop, we got that check daddy. So hey, play the bus stop. But we get there in the morning. It's like 40, like not 40, but like 20 high school bands on that field. You know, like doing what they do. Like it was just a beautiful environment. I don't see that, y'all, at the PWI level. We don't see that like at all. We do a high school battle of the bands, and on average, it brings out a good amount of people. Every year, we have anywhere between like 400 to 600 students, right? But that's really the only opportunity that with something that's sponsored by us that we have our opportunity to put our hands, you know, like in those programs. So I think that we love what we do and we cherish what we do. But I think to automatically assume that somebody wants to leave just because they speak of greatness and excellence, I think is a bad thing to think. But on the other hand, y'all know me. Good is good, bad is bad. Yeah, whether it's black, white, indifferent. I know a lot of PWIs that aren't good. You know, people don't like saying that out loud, but I'll say it. I know a lot that aren't good. There are more that aren't good.
Who don't like saying
it? Not on our show, but you know,
well, they say, where are people at?
Right, Mar, you think they think we bougie, bro? They think all we want to do is be white folks, I guess. But I will say it out loud that there are a lot more bad groups, including MPWIs, than there are good. Just are. So that's not a black or white thing. Neither is success for a band program. We talk about the small bands on this show all the time. Shout out to Thurman DeLeon Hollins, what he was able to do with North Carolina Central, North Carolina A&T, Dr. Ruff. You know, that was the small band with the big sound. Key on the word small, you know. So there's been a lot of bands, y'all, regardless of size, regardless of budget, that have done great with what they did. Shoot, people don't realize this. Norfolk State has never had a 300-piece band. Biggest band we ever had was in 2009, and that band was 280. That was it. We have never had a 300-piece band. So all you bands out there with 300 Norfolk, we don't know what that's like. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to have this massive thing to have a good product. But I think the pursuit of excellence is paramount, man. We have to expect more from the things that we say we love. We have to want better for our community. And that's what we talk about all the time. So no, hell no. Ain't nobody trying to want what's on the other side. Do I want to be a successful band director? Yeah, I do. And for me, a successful band director means having a good one ensemble, actually having a jazz band, because you'd be surprised how many groups don't even have a jazz band anymore. Like, that's the basis of my research. Matter of fact, I am going to get this music back into our programs. Well, hell or high water. How the hell we find this art form that's specifically American and our people do it the least? I get so tired, y'all, of logging online and going to jazz festivals and seeing a room full of white folks. Where are we at? We founded this music. Why we ain't in the room? And obviously, y'all ain't talking about everywhere. Obviously, places like New Orleans, we are still heavily involved in this music. Ain't like they're everywhere else. So, no, we don't want to go other places. I don't want to. I want to go where God has planned to go. That's where I want to go. But wherever that is, whether that's an HBCU, whether that's a PWI, no matter what, my program's going to have excellence. And so, you know, that's the expectation for me. and hopefully the people that will be around me in whatever program I'm at. So that's my answer.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Quan. Do black band directors want other positions?
Dumbass question.
I see you answered it though. All right.
I think I think black band directors want to merely be supported. I don't care if it's black, white, Hispanic, whatever. I think overall we just want to be supported. Um, as creators and visionaries, as band directors, the whole point is when we get to a place, we want to carry out the vision of excellence that we see fit. And I think that's just the bottom line. Do I think now, uh, and I'm the youngest director on this panel, I think I see the bigger picture of serving my community more. Initially, it was kind of like once you get out of school, it's like, hey, bro, I need a job. And after you finish that little stint or tenure, you want to make a difference. And I think you can teach anywhere, which is fine, but you have to ask yourself, am I willing to pay the cost of to deal with some of the things that some of these urban settings offer? Like, you may not have the best communal support initially, right? You may not have the best administrative support initially, and that's, I don't care if that's what's the word I'm looking for? Predominantly white or black, affluent or low socioeconomic income. You may not have that either. So I think the bottom line is directors, black directors, we just want to be in a space and area where we can be creative, that we can have the autonomy that we see fit to benefit any student that's in front of us. But we don't want to have to rob Peter to pay Paul in some of these instances. I mean, we make it happen, but being honest, the question should be, should we? You know what I'm saying? And that's from the high school level all the way up to the collegiate level. Some of the horror stories that some of these band directors go through at these HBCUs is horrible. I mean, do they want to be there? Of course they want to be there. Some of them have accepted positions at their alma mater to revive and bring those great yesteryears back. But the truth is, some of that admin is not supportive. I can name a few HBCUs in the state of Texas alone that has had a revolving door for band directors at the collegiate level. I mean, that's a problem. Do they want to be there? I'm pretty sure, but if you don't have administrative support, you can't carry out the vision. So we want to be where we want it. I think that's the real answer. We want to be where we want it.
Is your hand raised?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I couldn't get the mute button fast enough. Portia, I don't want to go. I'm not going to bring up no points. I think, well, hopefully they don't step on you too. But Quan brought something up that I would love to get all y'all feedback. Portia, Mario, Julie, everybody. So the question is, do black band directors want to be in other positions? Like, I would assume that means in better situations, or what is presumed to be better situations, right? So Quan talked about respect. I think that's a big part of it. Matter of fact, Portia, I want you to go because I don't want to take any of your points. I'm sure you have a couple. So I'll wait because I want to bring something up, y'all, just to get your feedback. But Portia, go ahead and then I'll bring this up.
So I don't think they want to be other places. I think they see, at least the ones that I've interacted with based on, things I see from programs, they want to continue the culture. Black bands is a culture, you know what I'm saying? And even if you're not at a black school, I mean, band impacted so many areas of my life. And most of us have had life-changing experiences because of music and because of band. And they want to pass that on. And some of it is too, I know for my high school band director, was giving the gift of music to other people, and allowing them to grow and foster themselves through that. And so even if they're not at a black school, it could be that they want to see people, want youth that look like them to see that you can achieve these things. So do we want other positions? No. Do they want other positions? No. But I do think sometimes it's hard to be in those other positions, because I know there are issues at HBCUs, but I think there can be other issues if you know, look like us in a different space, you know. So
I agree.
I think, you know, the grass isn't always greener on that other side. So I think that it's important for Black band directors to continue to share music with people that look like them, and to be in those spaces and continue to show that you can do this. But it can be bad in both places. So I don't know that they necessarily want other positions. And the ones that are at HBCUs are continuing to push the culture forward, because if we don't invest in it, if our people are not maintaining it, it will die. So I mean, you have to, and we know some horror stories from HBCUs, you have to want to be there. You do. I mean, some of the stuff that we've seen through the years, you have to want to be there. You do have some that are making a great deal of money, but they're also dealing with a lot of BS on the other side of that. So I think they want to be there. It's just, it's not always pleasant, but those other positions might not be as pleasant as we think they are either. So that's my thought on
that. I know, Chief, you said you wanted to say something, and then I know, Rick, you had a question. Chief, go ahead, and then Rick, you got it out there.
Yeah, it was just, I think I interpreted the question when you said other. I didn't take it as good or bad. I took other as non-Black.
Well, see that, and that's the thing, right? The perceived notion is that the non-Black would be the quote unquote better.
Oh no! Oh no!
And that's why that's why I'm coming from. That's why I said the perceived notion. But go ahead.
Look. So I'm in Jersey. So because I'm in Jersey, you see trash in every color, like literally every color. Like, so, I mean, I don't see it the same because I don't teach in the South. You know what I mean? In the South, there's like these areas that maybe, you know, there's no, I don't know. I mean, even when you teach in Newark, it's not like all Black. Most of my Black students are like African. You know, they're not like Black American. They're African American, like not like truly African, from Ghana or from Nigeria or something like that. So culturally, that's not the same either. You know what I mean? It's not the same. It's like a disconnect sometimes with some of those kids based on some of the experiences they may have had or not have had. So I looked at other as like just like non-Black. And so in my mind, I was just thinking like, no, people don't necessarily want a job that's something else. But I mean, if it came up, you're gonna work, you know what I mean? You're gonna work. Work is work at the end of the day. And you just want, like, I think everybody was saying, the administrative thing changes everything. That's the game changer. So administration can make you feel great about wherever you are, whatever the color the kids are. But it's hard sometimes when you do have places that you want to, like Portia said, keep the culture going forward. Like right now, I just be honest, man, I'm trying to teach an HBCU culture where kids have never heard of HBCUs. They've never heard of the term. You know what I mean? Let alone any of the, that's literally so much time for us to explain what HBCUs are. You can give them a short answer, but I've been bringing up bands and bringing up people. That's why you see videos on my timeline having Hampton there, having A&T there. I got Virginia State coming soon. So I'm like having other schools come up because they need to see what the culture is about. But that's what I was just saying. I interpreted the question differently. That was all. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Rick.
So my question is, so we all agree that hell no, we love who we are, we love the skin we're in, right? But let's talk about some of the negative things that could push a band director away from a position like we have. You show up to the school, like we talked about administration, ain't no instruments in the building. You know, you have no. I'm gonna preface my question, y'all, but with this, I have a friend who lives in Austin, Texas. His son goes to Henry Middle School. Everybody out there watching us right now, type in Henry Middle School band in YouTube and take a look at that middle school band playing grade 5 and 6 music. It will blow your mind. They're playing. They played at CBDNA a couple of years ago, and they played the Nelly Bell at CBDNA. That's that's legit wind ensemble literature. A middle school played it. So I just asked my friend. I was like, "Hey man, what are they doing that other band programs across the country aren't doing?" Here's the thing about Henry Middle School that a lot of people don't know. The band director at Henry Middle School is a black man. He is of the culture. He is absolutely a black man. But Henry Middle School, y'all, has some of the best resources you can think of. Every last one of those kids in that top program take private lessons. There is no option. But they do band throughout the summer. There is no option. You will be in this band during the summer. They have people like the expectation level is that those students will do all these things to be a member of the band, and the administration supports it wholeheartedly. It affects every facet of the program, and it affects the high school. The high school that they feed is incredible. So that's the difference. You know, that's what makes a person like us. You can be the most talented band director in the world, but it's not just administration. It's the environment that your band program exists in. You know what I'm saying? I'm a band director at a HBCU. I'm running 18,000 ensembles, teaching 2 classes, doing advising work, and trying to handle the finances of my band. Meanwhile, my counterparts at the PWI are teaching 1 or 2 ensembles at the most, maybe 1 class, not doing all that doggone advising and all that stuff. And they have an administrative assistant that they work with they make about $20,000 more than me. Who wouldn't want to go to that situation? It ain't many HBCU band directors making over 100,000. Go look at how much Jerry Junkin makes at University of Texas. It'll blow your mind. Over 200,000. You know what I'm saying? We sitting up here doing 10 times the amount of work for a third of the pay. So my question is, y'all, would you blame somebody for wanting better?
No, I mean, even if you look at when we were in the Legion, we had 5. The dream team was 5 full-time band directors.
Yep.
They now have Mr. Bethea and Stephanie K. Sanders.
Yeah.
That's it. The rest of us have full-time jobs and work for other people. So what they've achieved with 2 bodies is crazy. When we went from 5 to 2, they lost 3 people, and they have yet to replace them.
And they didn't raise their salary either. They didn't touch their salary. They should 2 people running that band program.
Let's count.
So go ahead. I mean, that's just one example.
So I mean, but and so that's the thing. It's like with all what we've said today, we love the skin that we're in, like in regards to what Rick said. We love our culture. We love who we are. And honestly, we are the modern day, honestly, conductors for the Underground Railroad. Because what we're merely trying to do is give our students, this generation, an opportunity to go to college for free, if that's what they choose to do. You know, everybody's not going to go to college, and that's facts, right? But if you do want to go with a skill that can ensure that your family doesn't have to come out of their pocket, right? But look at how much you have to sacrifice of yourself to ensure that, honestly, that you try to save the few. Like you just said, Norfolk is an awesome band, but for their administration to treat that staff like that, I mean, that shit is horrible.
But that's Laquan. Y'all heard the rant I did about PV, and you went there. It was way worse when you were there than it was when I was there.
But that's what I'm saying, Rick. Like, even like some of the things that I say, like the shit not normal. Like when you like, and here's what brings my frustration. We still dealing with damn near like the days of segregation, where it's like I get enrollment, different costs of attendance, all of that good stuff. But there's a difference when you speak about equity. HBCUs from a fiduciary aspect is not equitable to a PWI, and we're still playing catch up.
But Quan, I disagree wholeheartedly, bro. I don't mean to cut you off, but let me throw a fasten into it, right? I hear what you're saying, but look at it from this standpoint, Quan. My experience, having taught at an HBCU, Quan, is that they look at us as saying, you just need to be happy you got a job that with that band stuff. That's how they look at us, Quan. And the reason why I say that, Quan, is this. Those same people that we're talking about, they ain't making $60,000 and $70,000 a year. All that damn work we doing, we there till 11 o'clock at night making 60, 70, 80,000. Some band directors are above 100, not many. The CFO at Prairie View when I was there, that man was making $188,000. His office assistant was making $100,000. When I first got to PV, Quan, I was there all night long, and I wasn't making nowhere near that amount of money. Nowhere near. Right. So the equitable part, yes, I agree with you on that. But the fiduciary part, I completely disagree because they ass wouldn't work for the amount of money that they expect us to work for. And I
think the problem that I have, Quan, is that for the most part, these programs are contributing to your overall enrollment, are bringing positive light to your school. I mean, if you're looking at, I'm trying to be politically correct.
Nah, damn it. I'll give you an example.
At Norfolk State, and then the attention that the Legion brings.
I mean, think about it. From Prairie View,
like the bald-headed stepchild.
But at Prairie View, we had a 20-year losing streak. But the Marching Stone was doing governor's parades. They did They did George Bush thing. You know what I'm saying? They was invited to Macy's, but we couldn't afford it. They was invited overseas at one point. Like
I play with Beyonce.
Yeah, but so for me, it's kind of like everything that we just said, right? From the high school, secondary level to the collegiate level. I mean, damn, do you blame like when you put all that on the table? Do you actually blame if you go to UConn? Do you really blame if you're trying to get that job at UT? But here's the other side of it. When you go there, I hate to say it like this, but then you got to prove to not be that one black dude or that one black lady. Like, then you got to prove that. It's like we always proving ourselves, bro. It sucks. Bro.
Let me ask this question real quick. And there's a lot of things that I've been thinking about as you guys have been talking, but let me ask you this question. Because of the treatment that students receive at historically black colleges and universities, when they graduate and they get into the classroom and they deal with the woes of being inside of those classrooms and in our communities, do we feel, or do you all feel like that seems to be, I guess, the way it's supposed to go because of the way that we saw our band directors treated prior to? Like, do you think that thought process of how the treatment is passed down? So it's just like, man, I understand that this is part of the job. I'm just wondering what your thoughts are on that.
No.
Go ahead, Boris.
No. I mean, because honestly, if I'm being honest, I don't think we experience, at least not to this degree, this with Dr. Sanford. I feel like the administration gave him whatever he wanted. But
that's the reason why it was so easy for the administration to let him go, Portia. They were looking for him to mess up in some way, shape, or form because he had so much power on campus.
But I also, now I feel like, and I said this the other day, I also feel like some of what Norfolk is doing is because they've been making it happen with two people. That doesn't mean that that's sustainable. That does not mean that, I
was about to say the same thing.
It's not sustainable. Right. I mean, as the program grows, it's just not sustainable. And I mean, people get tired. You got to understand, like, that is not feasible what's going on. But I don't think that that's the expectation. You know what I'm saying? It's not the expectation, but we understand that it should be better. And I mean, we have to do what we can to force better. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think that's the standard because we saw it happen or see it happen. I want it to change, because why?
With our band programs, we make soul food out of scraps. And culturally that goes back. So when you said, is it passed down? I do think it's passed down. That mistreatment is passed down because it's expected to do the most with the least. Do the most with the least. And then when you do get a great situation, that ain't everywhere. That budget that Norfolk State had with Dr. Sanford, that wasn't everywhere. How many CIAA schools could you count that had like pennies, MEAC schools with pennies for their band program? Like that's still the case now. So you may have a couple outliers in certain places, but when you are able to make soul food, which everybody loves, but it's not good for you, you know what I'm saying? That's what really happens. You make something out of the scraps that you were given, and that type of vibe, I think, is what makes people think, well, shit, y'all can do it with that, then you'll be all right. I mean, y'all ain't fall apart yet. I'll deal with it when it falls apart. You know, you got people who are proactive and you have people who are reactive. They just react when it goes terrible or something happens big. Now we got to make a decision or we got to do this and the other. But I was thinking this. I said, I don't know who will do this, but I mean, in the next whatever time, it needs to be a legitimate like a band directors kind of like band directors union. And I was talking about that union thing because I'm like, there needs to be fair treatment. How many times do we see Black women get passed over jobs? Real talk. Like so many times you see like highly, way more qualified than some of these trash ass directors that are only good because their name is popular. And then you have a woman who can do way better job and shouldn't even get consideration. That shit is trash. They need somebody. They need protection. They need protection. And I don't like the idea of that because that means because you're so used to that, we start to settle for this mediocrity over and over and over. And then even in our own programs, we're recycling trash. Passing around band directors that are a whole bunch of mediocre ass teachers, and then we just have mediocre programs over and over. So that's why we're having these conversations.
But it's almost Mario coming from an informed place for some of these programs because they realize that the only thing people see musically from their school is that marching band. Right. So they're gonna hire the biggest name, perceived name in the marching band community. Like there's some people, I don't know them personally, and y'all know me, I don't care. That have all types of stuff, criminal records, everything else. And every time I turn around, their name is on somebody's finalist list for a band director spot.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
Now I'm gonna be real. They ain't no damn shot, nigga.
This is like for real.
And some of them don't even have music degrees. Some of them don't have music degrees.
Hey, look, man, that bottom row of Quan's teeth is about to come out. Them gold.
Nah, because like so. Here's the thing for me. Like as we sit here and think, bro, like my alma mater, Prairie View Marching Storm, practice outside, or they have to move their stuff all the way to the so we have the music building, then we have what's called MSC. That's a stage there. They have to move their stuff there. Like I think we're on engineer building number 3. You feel what I'm saying? But you can't even build a new music, like not being ugly. The marching storm
Fine Arts building is
I'm about to say
falling.
Every building is new.
You plan on coming to homecoming? Because baby, when you see what we dealing with,
bro.
I really want to hit up Norfolk. I'm gonna try to get my kids to come out.
Be astounded at the amount of paint that's been put on on the fourth floor.
Dog, Hobart had mold in it at one time. Hobart had mold in it at one time, but I see in the comments like what Crystal said. She was like, we have Stockholm syndrome. It's like it's crazy because on one hand we be like, well, what about the kids, right? And then an admin be like, well, I'm gonna pimp them. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know. That's why I applauded the Marching Storm students for what they did. Like until we get honestly a point, and we all know this, and it's through American history. The only way that you're gonna make change is when it affects their pocket. The only way you get them politicians to do what you want is when you affect their pocket. The only way you're going to get these admins at these HBCUs to change is when you affect their pocket. If everybody, real talk, think about it. If Norfolk had 280 again, and all those 280 people was like, well, we're not going to play until we get more money. That can honestly remove damn near a president, because they do it for the band director. So I mean, it's sad, bro.
All right, man. This was a good way to kick this thing off. I didn't really think it was gonna go. At least that one was gonna go that far, but it did, and I'm glad it did, man.
Yeah, your weak ass topic, Ashley.
Hey, you see how much
questions are showing.
I had to make it better.
No.
Mario, I had to make it better because it was funny at first.
He said he got
That's what I said. 20 minutes.
Good.
Sprinkle some juju on that shit.
Right. I had to season that question.
I let y'all,
y'all know
all
how,
season of that. Know how I do. Do you
shout out to all season
in the office? Anyway, but I you know how I do, dog. I'm gonna let y'all rock. Whatever, I'm gonna let y'all go as far as y'all need to go. It's all good. All right, man. Let's keep this thing. This man got seasoned in this office. It's black. Right? You got some hot sauce in there too, don't you?
Black.
You got hot sauce packets in your wallet.
Nah, bro. Nah, but I gotta have Mrs. Dash now, bro. I can't have salt and pepper like that.
All right, man. Let's keep this going, man. If you're just tuning in, welcome everybody to Talk That Talk. We have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversations about band, HBCU band culture, music education, and more, man. Y'all go ahead and smash that like daddy as soon as you come into the door, man. Get these likes up, man. We appreciate the conversations that you guys are having in the chat. So go ahead and smash that like daddy. Also, please make sure you subscribe to the Passion Is Network and turn on notifications. This episode will be on all of your podcasts and networks on tomorrow. Just type in Real Talk That Talk, except for Apple Podcasts, where you can type in Talk That Talk and it should come up right for you. Also, you can check out our merchandise at realtalkthattalk.com. I think I still have the HBCU band code for your 30% off. I don't know. I didn't check. I need to check. But if you go to realtalkthattalk.com and you want to get 30% off your purchase, just type in HBCU band. What? Why you
know anything?
Actually, I know quite a lot. All right, here we go. Let's move to the next topic. So I was having this conversation, I want to say maybe about a month or so ago with a friend of mine, actually Sora. And the conversation really got interesting because we started talking about, directors. Well, I ain't gonna say Quan's age, more or less, but more or less Mario and Rick, those of us who came in the 2000s, right? And we started having these conversations about directors who were in seats during our time. And when we graduated, and how a lot of us wanted certain positions where people didn't give up the seats because they wanted to stay in their seats until they retired. I mean, I'm pretty sure many of us have seen that happen. But what's starting to develop now is a lot of younger guys are getting into a lot of positions, some of which that a lot of us, not necessarily specifically us on the panel, but a lot of us who graduated during that time more than likely wanted, or blah, 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 blah. But they're the young guys, so they kind of can relate to the kids and so on and so forth. So, and if you want me to clarify just a little bit more, I can. But the question is, was the 2000s era passed by? Was the 2000s era passed by? All right. Who did I start with last time, Chief? All right, I'm gonna go back the other way. Portia. All right, don't worry about it. Her eyes got big. Don't worry about it. Flip that thing on around. Rick, go ahead, since you got all to say. All right, go ahead, Rick.
Your weak ass question. So Bernie, was the 2000s passed over? No. And I'm gonna preface everything I'm gonna say with this. A job that would allow a student to become the band director, I ain't want that job anyway. That ain't a job that I want, because obviously the people that are in a position to hire people they don't have the future success of that program. in mind. They're thinking with that band head mentality. And I'm sorry, I don't want to go to a school that's looking for band heads. I just don't. I'm looking for a school that wants to be a collegiate institution, meaning that you have to have tenure track professors. You have to have people that are doing research, which is a question we haven't talked about a lot on the show at all. Part of being a great band director is, especially if you're in a tenure track position, is doing research that builds towards what you've been studying, what your passion is, what your life's work is. I don't want to go somewhere where the only thing they want is marching band. That will not be a job that I apply for ever. Not wasting my time. So I'll preface by saying that. The thing about the 2000s generation, so my freshman year in Norfolk State was 2000. So this is my generation of people. The problem, I think, Julie, is that there's nothing the matter with having somebody that's young. There's not. I mean, Mr. Adams, a lot of people don't know. When Mr. Adams started teaching, Mr. Adams was in his late teens, early 20s. Mr. Adams went to college when he was 15 years old. Yep. This man started teaching when he was 19. So, and we all know who Mr. Adams is. If you in the HBCU band world and you don't know who Paul I. Adams is, you ain't in the HBCU band world. You up there fronting. And all you youngsters, if you don't know who Paul Adams is, you need to pull your notepad out and go do some goddamn homework. All right. Mr. Adams started, he was young. Dr. Sanford started when he was in his early 20s. When he took over Virginia State, when Dr. Griffin was there, he wasn't that much older than Dr. Griffin. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong the matter with age. What we're talking about right now is what Quan says all the time on this show. We're talking about qualified people. Are there enough people that are qualified to do these jobs? I think there are a lot of people that are qualified to do the jobs, but those people may not be seeking or may not have the name cachet that some people do when it comes to this. So I think that's a part of it. The other part of it is this. And Quan, I'm going to stay off of that because I know you're probably going to talk about it, so I'm going to stay off. The other part of it is this. What is the vision for some of these band programs that these schools are looking for? What do they want out of these programs? We don't hear that a lot. Said institution, what do you want the future of your program to look like? Are you just putting somebody in that position to fill it and make sure the marching band keep going and we get the YouTube clicks? We got to remember this, y'all. This generation you're talking about, the 2000s generation, started this band head mess. Like, we always had people that love marching band, but those people from those previous generations also had master's degrees in music and doctorate degrees in music, not in leadership or in school administration or counseling or whatever. And they running somebody's band program because most institutions say all you have to do is have a master's. That's why you start to see a lot of major institutions saying you have to have a doctorate to get this position. You have to have a doctorate in music. Because they not playing that game. Oh, Lil Pookie got a lot of name cachet in the uncut group, so he would be a good candidate for this band. No. So I think at the end of the day, the school said institution has to have a standard that they're looking for, and for our era, we got to step up and to the plate and know what the hell we want to do. Any band program I'd stand in front of us, like I said in the last segment, will be a great band because I know exactly what I want to do. Wind ensemble, jazz, all those things count. So that's it.
I tend to always laugh when you come up with these random names, Lil Pookie. And I forgot what you call my man on the bass drum. But let me ask you guys a question before the next person, or not ask a question, but just kind of give you a thought. I don't know what it was like. I know what it was like for me, Mario, and Rick for the most part. Quan, I don't know what it was like when you were in school, and anybody watching, I don't know what it's like for you guys. I just remember certain situations where you did have a massive amount of talented people who were capable of doing certain things, but were never given the opportunity. We're not put on the podium to do X, Y, and Z, or put out there, or got their arrangement out in a lot of circumstances or situations. Whereas I look at today's generation, because there are a lot more younger people in seats, they're like, all right, I'm going to give you a chance to do that. And so that's also the perspective of where I'm coming from. I'm not saying that what you said was anything that was wrong with what you said, Rick, but I'm also coming from that perspective as well, where it was just kind of like, this is my band and I ain't gonna let too many of y'all got to get it how we got it. Versus nowadays, you see a lot of these band directors allowing these younger guys to get their arrangements out, or being able to be in front of a program and so on and so forth. So that's also what I'm talking about as well. Just to kind of give a little bit more context as well. All right. Since Rick brought him up, go ahead, Quan. You got it next.
All right. So all these questions are just triggering. I just feel like at the end of the day, bro, I don't have an issue. I graduated from school 2006, high school 2006. I graduated from Prairie View 2011. I do think we still have the last generation or regime of older band directors who say, I'm gonna die in the seat. We know a few still. That's just what it is, right? I don't have an issue with you hiring somebody that's qualified. I have an issue with hiring people or dumbing down your standard as a university and department. That's my bottom line issue. I mean, you can make a sound clip and pass it around, but I'm gonna say this, and this the truth. I have an issue, real talk, that at least if you don't have a master's in music, but you're trying to be a band director, I got an issue with that. I have an issue, real talk, that you're getting jobs only off the strength of ranging. I have an issue with that, because being a band director is so far and so more than just arranging. If that's the case, I could be like, say, Rick, I'm gonna commission you to be the arranger, and I can do the other admin work as a band director, and I can create this sound that I want. You know what I'm saying? We've had conversations on this phone where we know some directors of bands, they don't even arrange because they got to focus on the other aspects of it, right? But I have an issue with the people that real talk don't have a master's in music, but they have these positions, but you're continuing the narrative of this band head culture because your conducting pattern sucks. That matters. Your pedagogy and philosophy of teaching as an educator sucks. You're also influential. So you're honestly influencing more band heads instead of well-rounded musicians. And this is the bottom line. You have a lack of freaking, I almost cursed. You have a lack of freaking maturity that honestly puts a stain on the university when you do illegal shit with the students.
So you ended up cursing anyway. Go ahead.
Yeah, I did, because I'm trying to be, because it's frustrating, because here's the truth. Everybody loves mess. And when it comes to HBCU, we talked about this show about protecting our own. So if we're going to protect our own, as soon as something bad happens, we smear it. But then we say we for the culture. But then in the same breath, you could do a background check, because let's be real, you can Google a person's public records, but you still put them on. Like, I don't get that. We say we want change. Like, real talk. I said that I wanted to lose weight, but every Tuesday, bro, I was in that Popeyes line. I'm just being honest, right? It wasn't until
butter on both sides.
That B.O.B. You feel me? At Raising Cane's. But the truth is, until a doctor told me, say, bro, if you want to live long, you might want to change some things. And so my thing, if these universities want to live long, they need to change some things. If you want truly to bring back integral music programs and music departments, man, we got to start thinking different, bro. And it's not about age. It's about maturity. Can you truly be mature for this seat? Can you separate, the aspect of like, this is the student and I'm the teacher? Can you be mature, in that position? That honestly, that position as being director of bands is a prestigious seat. And I feel like personally, we just giving it out to people no different than a YouTube sensation. Not in every situation, but in most, honestly, for what's going on. And that's my 2 cents on that, bro. Before I say something that's really bad.
I'm gonna take off the unfiltered part of this show. Y'all be filtering y'all.
Because we still teachers, bro. And that's the whole reason why.
I know. I get it. You know what I'm saying? You will only go so far the gold teeth will let you. All right. Portia. Because that's Kwanzaa. You got the little.
I'm gonna say
good joy, but go ahead.
No and yes, and I'll start with no. Because the way I'll say that is I know. Let me use myself for an example. When I left Norfolk State as section leader, I knew eventually kind of I wanted to coach, later or do something to continue to do something that I was passionate about. I love being a silk. I love twirling. Like I wanted to pass that along in some way, shape, or form. But I understood at that time that I was not the one in the position to do so. Like it took a lot of years of growth, development, understanding the difference between the students when we were in the band and the students now. Understanding that my mentality as the section leader and who Portia was then, understanding there's a difference in how I needed to be as a coach. All of that took time. And so I could have coached if the opportunity had been given to me back then. I would not have done a good job. I would not have been the best fit for those students. So I understood then that I needed that growth. I needed that opportunity. So I didn't even think. The other thing is that I knew it was so many beasts, Silkettes that had come before me. Like, I mean, sometimes right now I'm still like, I can't believe I'm the coordinator. Like, it's so many dope people that came before me. So, in that instance, I wasn't looking for the seat at that time. I wasn't passed over. It wasn't my time. But what I will say as far as yes, during that time, the mentality of the band directors and the people who were over the programs we were exposed to were, you had to pay your dues to get where I am, so you need to pay yours. And then there was evidently this shift to where we don't really care about your experience. Your arrangements are getting the most likes. We're playing more of your arrangements than anybody else. The students really like you, so here's the seat. So it was this jump from one extreme to the other. Like I had to wait, all these years to get that job, to now you just left here about 2 years ago, but you dope, so here it go. So kind of yes and no. I wasn't looking for it, so no, I wasn't passed over because I wasn't looking for it at the time. I knew I needed more, but yes, in that there's some transition, in my opinion, to what was expected for the seat and how you got to the seat to now given the seat.
I do have one quick just thought. So do y'all feel like, because we was just talking about like administration, do you feel like people put those younger kids on because they're hype and they're willing to really work for nothing?
That's where I'm going.
That might be part of it, because when you got
Mario was like, "Hey, don't take my shine. That's where I'm going."
Go ahead.
You want to go ahead and hit it, Chief?
Yeah. So a couple things, man. Do I think some people in 2000s era was passed over? I feel like the yard line was moved. We talked about earlier on where people were coming out of school with their bachelor's degree and getting jobs on a college level and then being brought under wings to grow. That changed in the early 2000s. But the question is why? The reason why it changed is because that's the beginning of all of the technology changes, the blogging. faith, marching sport, the fifth quarter, all those things that really started to kick a lot of steam in the early 2000s. And then the kind of the advent of people starting to just have their opinions be shared and not have to, have those, oh, you got to come in and actually teach a class so we know how you are or whatever, whatever you're about. And then it became more about like what what people said about you, what your aura was and your rapport was with other people. And that word of mouth thing started to spread so much that became, instead of it being one thing to help a person, it became the thing that a person went from, like making a decision based off of. And I feel like that's kind of where things went with a lot of director. And then you get into a space where, we get into the 2020s and you have these young, exciting young band directors that we've changed the shift. It used to be about whose trumpet section was this or whose trombone section. We used to talk about more sections back in the day. Now we talk about arrangers. And we talk about the young arranger that's running across the field or doing extra antics in the stands or doing those things became more about the show of the person in front. And so that is exciting to older band directors that's been sitting in those seats, because that, you say 2000s era people, that era got passed by. So a lot of those people didn't become college directors. So then they're older now, and now they need a young head to come in there to give them all that energy because they ain't really ready to retire yet. So they have a young person come in there and do most of the work. So this happens a lot of times. Many older band directors who don't have the energy to still be as vibrant as they once were, they find a young, energetic person to come in there to work, under them in a way that, they pay them a little bit of money, but as long as they have the title of, oh man, you're on the staff at this whatever university, it makes it seem like, oh man, I got this title. So they get excited about that. So, and that's happened at a couple universities and stuff like that. But I think it has, I won't say totally passed up, but I do see some situations where there were people who could have been amazing college directors from the 2000s from Norfolk State that should be at Norfolk State. And I'll end it there.
I was gonna say something. Well, I'm gonna say it anyway. So one of the things that and this is just kind of piggybacking off of what Chief just said. One of the things that I just find, or I found interesting when I was having this conversation with the soror, was most of those guys or girls in the 2000 era who were vying for certain positions or wanted to be kind of taught or be taken under some people's wings and all that, ended up in a lot of cases either and I'm not saying this has happened in totality, but I've seen and conversed with a couple of people, either went down to, and I'm not saying this is a bad thing, went down to either the middle school or the elementary perspective, or just left the profession completely. And I feel like it's a lot of the reason is just because they felt like they were passed by or they weren't given those opportunities. And so that's why, and I feel like that's why I felt that this was very interesting, because now, as you said, Chief, a lot of those dudes are older. So they're not the ones that are connecting with these kids. Now they may now be the high school directors.
Right.
But it's kind of like, well, now I got to get on the ticker talker and learn how to do this and do that to try to make myself seem cool, and it's kind of like, well, you ain't the cool dude no more.
Right.
So and that was more or less the conversation that I was having. And so it was kind of like, I just was like, man, I don't know, man, this may be a young dude's game now, because that's just, I mean, I accept the fact that I'm an older dude.
But here's the thing: it may be a young man's game, but this is still a teaching game. And so what I've realized about students, period, is like they can tell, bro. Like when you get in front of them and you trying to make shit up, like sometimes I think we discredit this generation to where it's like, hey, they still know what good teaching is. They still know what a well-organized practice is. They may look at the YouTube clips, but what I realize is great teaching will always trump popularity. And it's like when you show them the difference, this is what a good sound sounds like. And then you teach them on how to produce that, they're likely, they want to go to the answer, because we're still dealing with a Google generation. So if they say, well, Mr. Mitchell, how you do that? Okay, well, I don't know how, but let's Google. Like they're still that generation of kids that want to know the answer. So even though these people are popular, and like I say, and we're not speaking about all these young band directors, but the ones who are not honestly that doesn't teach proper pedagogy, like eventually, like you're gonna be exposed, bro. And I don't like, and that's just what it is.
I mean, I don't disagree with what you're saying. But I put it this way: you sent me a video, and in that video, they eating him up. But does that necessarily mean he can teach? You
Well,
know,
can I add
what's
one more piece? Yeah,
that happening around the culture. But go ahead, Rick.
I just gotta add one more piece too, and this the part I guess was gonna be, y'all know me, it's gotta be controversial, whatever.
Well, come on with it, Rick.
Whatever.
Damn time.
The people we talking about can actually do the job. That's this conversation we've had up until now.
Yep.
There's a lot of motherfuckers that graduated with us that weren't good.
Right.
Just because you old don't mean you can do the job. Just because you went to school to study music don't mean you can be somebody's band director, especially at the collegiate level. There's a level of expertise that's there that you have to do this job at a high level. I kept my mouth shut, man. I was trying to be nice, y'all.
Ain't no nice.
The money is, but Mario, I know you gonna remember. You and Julie gonna remember because y'all were in the band room when this happened. We had music majors that couldn't pass sight singing to save their dang on life. They can't sing a B flat at all. And they gonna be somebody's band director? They can't do rhythms. They can't sight read. They can't do none of this stuff. But they expect to be the band director at Southern University. I don't blame Southern. If you gonna come in here and you can't do nothing, you ain't gonna stand in front of this band program. I'd rather take the young dude that know what he's talking about than somebody just because they got age. This is a multifaceted conversation, y'all. Like, there's so many. To be honest, y'all, the people that teach at the collegiate level specifically should be the most talented of us. If we look at this like the NFL or whatever that is, you have to go to high school and college before you can make it to the NFL. They put that rule in place for a reason. Whether it's a financial one, whether it's that, but I think that those that are educating the future educators should be amongst the best of us. And so I think that addresses what we've all been saying, is that at the end of the day, you have to have standards. Y'all know me. That's what I've been saying on this show from the very beginning. You're only as good as what you learn and what you know and where you come from. We can't expect to have a whole generation of great high school bands if people are going to band programs that are terrible. Just because it's fun. We talked about that on the show. Oh, it's fun. It's going to keep the kids excited. Yeah, that's great. But then what? Because eventually those kids are going to become adults and they're going to have to be able to do something. If we want this HBCU band culture or music in general to continue to flourish at our schools, we're going to have to start teaching something. And so, that's where my frustration comes from, Quan, is that, like you said, you look at these programs and there's a lot of unqualified people in these positions. But on the other side of that, all we're doing is hurting Black people. If you can't compete, I mean, they try to make it a black-white thing, so let's go to the black-white thing. If you can't compete with the kid that's graduating from UT or from Texas Tech or from North Texas or University of Michigan or wherever, if you can't compete with that person, then you're not going to get the job. There are a lot of us, think about this, y'all. How many times, and I'll pose this question, how many times, y'all, have we sat and had conversations, Mario and Julian, about how terrible certain facets of our music education was at the school we went to? Some people look at Norfolk State as being the bastion of one of the, pinnacle of great bands. They always sound good. Yeah, we might not like their music that they play, but you can't take away from the fact they sound good. Think about all those conversations we had about shitty classes we had at Norfolk and how unprepared we felt going into other situations. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we were amongst the most talented people in our classes. So we can beat around the bush, y'all. The fact of the matter is the school has to prepare the student to go out and learn how to do the gig. Because like I said before, and people got mad at me, band directing and music is a profession. It's not just something you like. It's something that requires expertise. You must continue to grow at it to be good at it. But on the other hand, you also got to be passing that back. You have to set up an environment so that when I could die tonight, God, forbid that happen. But hopefully I can say I touched the lives of some young people and I taught them something that's going to help them be a better band director. And that's my mission. My mission ain't about me. Y'all know me. Everybody on this panel knows me. I ain't never been nobody the type of dude to big myself. I don't do that, y'all. I can't stand that. People tell me, "Oh, Rick, you did this and that." I feel uncomfortable when people do that. Because I do it not for the accolade. I do it because I know it's the right thing to do. And like you said, Julian, when I told my story about when I was a kid, I look back on that time and I say I'll never put somebody else in the position that I felt that I was put into so many times. So understand, y'all, that all you kids in college, this job is hard. And some of you aren't going to be able to cut it at this level. No matter how big an idea you think you have, it's more to it than that, like Quan said. So I'll leave it there.
We got to get somebody else to end off all these topics. Next time, Quan, you gonna end it.
Man, whatever. You just mad because you had that weak ass question at the beginning. We had to put some seasoning on it. We had to put some of that.
First of all, I don't ever mind y'all sprinkling anything on it. Sprinkle it. Okay? You can put some glaze on it if you want to. Just glaze. There you go.
Put a straight cream.
Straight cream.
I'm more of a beignet guy to me.
Get your big nets. All right, man. Let's keep this thing moving, man. If you just tuned in, man, welcome everybody to Talk That Talk. We have the unscripted, uncomfortable conversation. Dang, I missed the word. Unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversations about band, HBCU band culture, music education, and more, man. Y'all go ahead and smash that like daddy, man, as soon as you come into the room. I done seen Crystal put it in there. And go ahead and get these likes up. Go ahead and smash that like button. Also, please make sure you subscribe to the Passion Is Network and turn on notifications. Oh, and this episode will be up tomorrow on all your podcasting networks. Just type in Real Talk That Talk, or on Apple Podcasts, type in Talk That Talk. All right. Next question. This actually kind of ties into what the last question was. Are directors focused on individual success or program success? Are directors focused on individual success or program success? Quan, go ahead.
That's hard. That's hard. I'm being honest. It's hard for me. That's hard for me to answer because I know as a band director, it's not about me. For the young band directors that I speak to, and music majors and whatnot that I speak to, the first thing that I tell them, that this has to be a calling. Like this is not a job where it should be about you, if that makes sense. And the reason why this question stands out to me is because the Score podcast with Eric Jimenez and Justin McLean, they were basically kind of talking about this topic as well, because they were talking about adjudication and different things like that. But if your motive is to go to UIL to get those ones to satisfy you, then honestly you're participating in adjudicated events for the wrong purpose, because now you're talking about me, and this is my band, this is what I'm doing, and I'm preparing. But the truth is, are you preparing the students overall? So if you're doing it with that motive, then yes, you're wrong. But if your focus is, I'm going to participate in UIL for the beneficial of the kids, for the growth, to place them in events and environments that allows them to blossom and grow, then that's different. So that's one situation. In regards to the collegiate level, if you are on the internet talking and kind of like you a Suge Knight, if your band director not on the stand doing this, come to Death Row University. Well, if you're doing that's egotistical. But if you're allowing other individuals to brag on you, and I think that's just what type of person I am. I put out that, the blessing for the $10,000 because it was a blessing. But other, accomplishments that we have and things that goes on that's positive, allow other people to brag on you. But that's just how I was reared. So, I mean, that's kind of, that question is literally for that individual. I do feel like there are some egotistical directors that want to be in the camera, that may be insecure about other areas in their life. Like real talk, they got to be in the front. But I'm just the type of person. I just follow people that have the same mindset and same heart as me. I'm gonna just choose this particular college. I've never seen, FAMU directors, real talk, get out there and be wilding. I've never seen the same thing from Norfolk. But I know some band directors, high school and college, man, they be wilding. So I mean, it's about them, when they do that. But again, like we just said, some of that gets the likes.
I'm sorry, I was listening to you. I was looking at Portia the whole time. It was like she was moving that head like you was up there preaching, boy. All right, Chief. Our directors focus on individual success or program success.
Come to Death Row University. I'm just fucking around. No, real talk. It's interesting.
Nobody can hear you, Quan.
You said what?
Quan was talking and nobody could hear. But go ahead.
Yeah.
It's a new shirt, Death Row University.
Death Row University. I thought it was the same thing. Let me tell you, man. It's an interesting topic, man, because I've got some grief from my principal this year, and principals in the past, because and my supervisor of music. Like she came yesterday. We were finishing up practice, and she came and saw us out there, and she was like, I was like, yeah, we had I had Hampton here and I had Auntie here, and we just finished this competition, and we did this other thing at Trinity Church, real big church in New York, and we had a couple things. I was just letting her know a couple things. She was like, I didn't know you were doing any of that. Like you got to send this to me. I am the worst. I'm my worst enemy when it comes to like promoting myself. I don't say enough what I do, but New Jersey is all about, in Newark, all about you promoting yourself. Like everybody here is like, put yourself out. Like, oh, I did this and I did this and I'm this person. And I just can't get jiggy with that shit, man. It's just not who I am. I just can't. Yeah, I just can't. Because it feels it's not authentic to who I am. So I just rather do what I do, man. If my students going to school and shit, that's what it's all about. And then the question is like program success. In program success, all of our success, like shit, your program's striving and shit. We all striving. And when I mention program, I say our program. I don't even like, unless somebody's talking to me that doesn't know my band, I'll say, yeah, this is my band program. You know what I mean? But when I'm talking to the kids, I say our. Like when we talk about the band room, this is our band room. We are all a part of this. We all are responsible for how this thing looks, sounds, and everything going forward. I'm the person in charge. I said, what I want to strike in y'all is musical appreciation and love for the art form. Regardless of who's on this podium, you still got to love the music. I just gave a whole conversation to somebody before they left. I had a workshop today with a great drummer by the name of Elvester Garnett. Check him out if you don't know who that is. He's a beast. And I was saying the reason I love music is because it's always honest. You know what I'm saying? It's honest to us when people aren't. It's the one thing that stays consistent. And so when I think about being involved with an art form that like delicate and beautiful, I just can't put myself above or anywhere in the stratosphere of that type of like arrogance, man. One of the things that happened to me at Norfolk is that I came in arrogant, and it wasn't arrogant because I was better than everybody. It was arrogant because I was like, Detroit made us like aggressively arrogant. Well, not arrogant, but like show your shit. Like whatever you about, show it. So I was always the person that like, if you say you this, let's play right now. I was always that person. So it was more about that. Like I was always ready to prove myself. And I think Miss Allen put that in us. And so one of the things that she always used to say, like, you know, like, was that was a part of our culture. So I can't imagine like building a program where I'm like standing on up on the top, like a mountainside, like a Moses and shit. You know what I'm saying? Just like, I don't know. But do directors do that? Absolutely. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. It's a bunch of band directors that do that, man. They all think they.
And it's more now.
Yeah, it's like a lot of them now.
So
like it's
much of it.
Band directors. Like even we were talking about that earlier. I said you used to talk about sections. Like I remember early, people used to talk about sections. Now you say full bands and band directors. Sections have been replaced by talking about what band director, what staff, and who wearing what. And like, I'm like, this shit corny as shit. Like, what about the players? Like, people actually playing the music or producing the product, like the kids who are out there. Like, so yes, to answer the question, are band directors focused on individual success? Some of them, yeah, absolutely. Some of them are. The ones that are, and I can't even say the ones that are successful because you can always find exceptions to stuff. But it's an unfortunate thing because it feeds the ego, which then what do you think that breeds? If you're in a program and you're doing that, that's going to breed a whole new generation of that same arrogant bullshit. And then like, we don't need no more of that in this world because we got a bunch of arrogant people who have sensitive ass emotions who can't handle no's. So now you have arrogance and sensitivity. Like you got to pick one. Shit, pick a struggle. I don't know.
And what's crazy is, Mario, they then put that egotistical attitude in some of these kids who will then become band directors, but they're not as good as the person.
And that's what I'm saying. Like,
and so then they
can't handle it. They can't handle being told that they're not good at something. They can't handle it emotionally. I'm like, bro, man, we gotta figure this out, dog. Everybody can't be so sensitive, dog. We be tripping. I can't. It's hard being a teacher now, as y'all know. Like teaching high school, middle school kids, it is hard because everything is so damn sensitive. You can't say nothing, can't do nothing. If you tell a kid it wasn't right and here's how you do it, they're having an emotional breakdown. It's like, damn, like this is difficult. So it's too much work to be done. My bottom line is this. There's too much work to be done to be arrogant. It's nonstop work. So that's why I didn't even hear what you said.
I said it's because you old, man. You just said you can't get jiggy with it, dog. Like,
yeah.
Hey, man.
No, it was the play on it. I can get
I know what you're talking about.
God, man.
Go, Portia. Go ahead.
I think for me, the answer is absolutely. And not all of them, but to me, it's blaring because the way we were taught at Norfolk was you don't run your mouth. You show and proof. You show who you are through what you present. We were never, we never were that band. And so now when I see band directors on the internet talking junk about other programs, they get ready to have a battle. Y'all done filmed a whole commercial about what y'all gonna do. Then you get to this event and it's not
lackluster as shit.
You should have been at practice instead of filming this whole damn video with takes and shit and stuff. Like the energy is not going to the right place. I had never seen so many videos where now the camera goes from the band to the band director conducting. Why we need to see that? I'm sorry. I don't care about that. I want to see the students. It's so many videos. It's funny to me now when bands are going down the street, all these people walking in the front. Today ain't your day. You'll never see me in the stands with the Silkats doing nothing with them on performance day. My job was during the week. This daytime to shine. I don't even understand that. I have seen so many videos where coordinators in there checking on them. Are y'all okay? If they not, they know how to come out the stands. What is this? These adults. What is going on? But it's videos where coordinators, the band coming down the street, the coordinator taking videos of them behind you. Why? It's not about you today, but it's been some kind of transition where I need you to know who I am. I need you to know what my function is. And all I care about is that they go out there and kill because I know the work that they put in throughout the week or 2 weeks or whatever. I know that this is their creativity being put on display. That's what I care about. I don't understand how, but William Bethea don't even have a social media account. If something going on the internet, we got to tell him.
Right. He don't know what be going on.
Like, what y'all talking about? He don't have Facebook, Instagram, nothing. He don't. I mean, for what? What I need that for? We keep trying to tell him like you need to have something and go live every now and again. And he's like, no, I got too much work to do to be doing all that.
The work.
But it's a lot going on, especially if you watch these videos when they going down the street and stuff. You'll be like, who the hell is all them people? And what are they doing? But it's gone from what's the best for the program to I want to be seen. Yeah, it's the conducting for me too. And it be, are you passionate about all them songs or is this the show? You putting on, I mean, it be so, dude, is it all that? It's not all that, but you realize this camera on you.
Hey, yo, I gotta bring this up, Rick. That one game that we was at because we were going to play Southern the following week. Hey man, we gotta find that video of Rick conducting, doing crazy conducting patterns. I'm sorry, my bad.
I'm telling you, it's a lot going on, and you wouldn't normally conduct like that, but you realize this camera on you, so you want your little shine. And that's that. It's too much. It's been a transition. I'm telling you, when we would go down the street, Dr. Sanford would get missing. Y'all don't remember that? You only see him to about halftime. Where you been? What you been doing? But he wasn't out in the front. Okay.
Well, I ain't trying to be funny, but that's kind of suspect, sis. I don't want to put out.
He wasn't. This is who I am. Watch me lead them down the street. But he did get missing, guys. I used to be like, what is going on?
Just saying, don't keep that up out there, Man, maybe we had to go
right.
to the bathroom. Maybe
the drum majors got it, but we also have drum majors who are drum majors. They not necessarily showpieces.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
I say, okay, so since you brought that up, when was it's only a few drum majors that's actually doing drum major jobs. I'm just saying. In 2020, as of May 18, 2022. Just saying.
All right, we'll make sure we put that down as a topic. We talk about drum majors and the drum major role. I mean, I'm gonna say it like this, and I'm gonna get up off of it, okay? Because I want to let Rick glaze this topic. Norfolk was probably about the only place I've seen where drum majors actually work, like actually did drum major work. So we can make that a topic. All right, Rick, let's go ahead and glaze this topic. Our directors focus on individual success or program success.
I don't know, man. I can't speak for everybody. I don't really have much to offer, man. I think y'all had a lot of good commentary there.
What?
Yeah, man. I think y'all pretty much hit everything. I think the biggest thing for me is, our directors focus on the individual success. They should be. You ain't doing this just to, just for the students. A lot of these directors, these positions that they have lead to other opportunities, sponsorships, other things that can lead to financial success for the band director. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I think what we're talking about is when you put your own personal success over the success of your program. I think that's what we're talking about. Sure, I want more band directors. We need to have more people that look like us be considered in these conversations. Everybody know who Jerry Junkin is. When in the band world, you hear the name Jerry Junkin, UT. You hear some of these greats throughout history, Frederick Fennell, Ithaca. You think about H. Bob Reynolds. You think about all these people that, their names are synonymous, just like Nathan Heyman. Just like Isaac Gregg, just like O'Neal Sanford. So I don't think there's anything wrong with focusing on self, advancement. What were you saying, Quan?
No, what I was about to say, I respectfully disagree. I think as the person that you are, and then who we're striving to be, everybody on this panel, we know who Jerry Junkin is. We know who Percy Granger is. We know who those individuals are. Being honest, a lot of people don't even know who Paul Adams is. A lot of people don't even know Lindsey Sargent or his brother. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people know the low key pillars. The Dr. Isaac Griggs. After him, we know
Nathan Hamer.
Nathan Hamer was the original band director of World Fame. I'm drawing
Dr. Pennell.
Well, before him, it was Conrad Hutchinson, right?
Conrad Hutchinson.
Yeah, and so of course Dr. Purnell. Like we know the ones, the few that are hit or miss. I think you're just well rounded, and I think going back, that's what shows some of the ignorance of our culture that we're forgetting the past.
But I disagree with that though, because Dr. Griggs wasn't up there acting a fool on the podium. He might have been doing that stuff behind the scene, but I ain't never seen no video of him waving his arms all over the place. I think his stuff came from he had one of the most popular bands. They were on national TV. Like Mario said, this is before social media. So we know that name because every Thanksgiving we saw Dr. Pennell and Isaac Griggs on national TV. That was, for a lot of us, that was the only time we saw HBCU bands. I know it was for me. My dad was working. He won't take me to no doggone games on the weekend.
Until BET started hitting it.
Right. So those people made their name for like Emery Fears. I was surprised how many people know who Emery Fears is. But the fact of the matter is, Emery Fears was one hell of a musician. You know what I'm saying? Like, I talked to Juliet. They were playing Lincolnshire Posey and stuff like that back in, the 70s and 80s as HBCU bands. That's what those programs were doing. When you thought Southern University, it wasn't just a human jukebox. Southern had one of the craziest jazz programs out there. Branford Marcellus, all these guys that came from that school, Alvin Batiste, all these goats of jazz came from that school. You know what I'm saying? And involvement in the community, man. It's like our brother said. Sometimes you got to show your work. You got to put your work up, and your work got to speak for itself. You can run your damn mouth and shake your ass all day as much as you want. The fact of the matter
I got a question, Rick. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Can a Southern person?
Thank you. Because I know what you're about to say. But go ahead.
It's bring that mustard. Is it bring that mustard? Is that what he's saying before they start when they crank up something? I thought it was that, but I don't know.
It was Mr. Jackson. He would say that.
Was it Mr. Jackson?
Yeah. Oh no! Somebody said it right here in the comments.
I was about to say, no, I watched a lot of Southern when I was.
I watched Doc Wallen. He was
Doc would get up there and yeah.
He was a character, dude.
From Doc, yes, they get it from Doc. The
no, I'm not saying he wasn't a character. I'm telling you, I haven't seen no videos of him conducting on the wrong beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 3, 4, 2. Like I haven't seen some videos of some mess up there. I ain't seen. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, he had a big person. Okay. Hell, I got a big personality. But at the end of the day, what he could say is, "Here's my work. Show me yours. Here's 40 years of my band program being amongst the best band programs in the country, universally recognized." I didn't like Southern growing up because I'm from Norfolk. That was the style I liked, but it was no denying that they were one of the best bands in the country. Julian White can say, "Hey, like he had to like struggle to put his work up on the table. There go my work. What can you do with that, young fella? That ain't what we got now. What we got now is, hey, here goes my YouTube channel. Go check that out. That's my work."
But then that goes back to the aspect of what we were saying for the last question. Like it's that individuality and that ego, and you didn't even do nothing to sit at the table, and your conducting pattern is still wrong, and you conducting with your left hand, and
Thank you. I am so tired of seeing that left hand conducting, bro. I'm sorry, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mean, you didn't even know who Dr.
Julian, you felt that. Like you felt that.
Justin, you hilarious, dude.
I see it so much, bro, and I can't understand that. I can't for the life of me understand that left hand conducting, bro. I can't. But go ahead. I'm sorry, Quan.
Take it back, Rick, because it'll be it.
No, I think that at the end of the day, man, I don't think there's anything wrong with the band director seeking self-fulfillment in the job or advancement in the job. as long as it's still about the students. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I think a lot of what we talking about too is these people that show their ass the most ain't got shit to back it up with. Must ass. Sure, ain't got nothing to back it up with.
Mustache.
Right? Oh, must ass band program. Your band musty. You just look at it like, ugh, that stinks.
He
Like,
said
right.
left hand is the best hand, Justin. I'm left-handed.
Me
But
too. That's
book,
what I'm like, oh,
that
man.
book says you cue with that left hand.
My right-handed.
Hey, I want to see some of these band directors focus on their win ensemble. That's what I want to see.
Does the ride symbol have to be on the right? Anybody? Does the ride symbol on the drum set, does it have to be on the right? Or can it be on the left?
Well, when I played, mine was on the left.
Right.
Because honestly,
it
you
does not
can
have to be on the right. It does not.
Right, because you can set up there. Honestly,
correct. Let's see where we at right now. Ask some questions. I would have been. No, it
because
not.
my
It does not.
Mainly, it's Big Tiga. Exclusive.
No, I was just having a drum clinic today talking about that. It does not have to be on the right.
Man, man, you could on drum set, you do it the hell you want. You over there rocking that drum set, no matter what.
I mean, I've seen people play snare on the left and the right.
Yeah, my cousin Derek is one of the best drummers. I know. He played the hell out that hi-hat. Bailey does it too. That left hand hi-hat. Be rocking that thing, killing. Like,
right.
Man, if
it's
you
just,
rocking,
I was just making that mention just because unconventional things aren't necessarily like the book stuff. Like, I don't know.
And like Maya said, we the blacks.
Good product is good product. That's
like Maya said, we the blacks. We'll find a way to make something funky and make it our own. You know, what's his name? The guy named that he never strummed his guitar. He played everything with his thumb, and he's considered like one of the greatest jazz guitarists of all time. It's gonna come to me, but he literally played everything on the guitar with his thumb. And it gave him like a different timbre from everybody else.
Techniques are all over the place. People have done so many things. If according to the book, Dizzy Gillespie is wrong.
Yeah.
Like it's like, come on, man. Yeah.
But I have a question though, Mario. Are you gonna conduct the judging?
Rick is wrong.
I have before.
Out of his lip.
I have before. And my ensemble sound good, so I was like, whatever.
Yeah, I play on the left side, Quan. I don't have a perfect combination. I don't play right in the center.
Right.
And guess what? One of the best, and Justin could possibly co-sign this. One of the best trumpets, I think his name was Tim. He went to Lamarck. One of the best trumpet players that I seen when I was coming up in high school. He had an off center one too. I mean, so I understand it's not about right or wrong and I think that's when people start saying that we're trying to be right because like we studied books, but it's nothing wrong with studying the book and then manipulating it. That's still with that great timbre or whatnot.
Correct.
But the issue is when you don't study the book at all, and then you feel like, well, I just made this.
I'm about to say that's right. That's right. You can't just make up something without understanding what the genesis of it is in the first place. Just be doing stuff. I mean, you can do you can do what the hell you want to do, but you'd be wrong.
Right.
You just be wrong.
All right, man. Let's get to this last one, man. Yeah, let me go ahead and do it right. Chief, I know you got to pull out. So
yeah, you got to pull out.
You got to pull out. You got to pull out. You got to pull out.
Got to pull out.
That is necessary.
Necessary at this age.
Yes. You can't take no more. But man, you know we love you, bro. Man. But most definitely, anything you got to say before you tip out?
Oh man, I just want to just give a shout out to all the high school, middle school, just public school directors who are closing out their years, their spring concerts, preparing their kids for auditions. Well, that's kind of past, but for the ones that are doing some late stuff, just like shout out to I saw a Battle of Bands not too long ago, and I just have to shout out my boy, man, James Perry, man, and the job he's doing at Eastern, man. I was just really, really proud of all the King's Fork and the things they're doing, man. I just really, really happy about the band programs in that Virginia, DC, Maryland area. I'm just like, really proud of the band programs and how they're going, man. So just shout out to everybody who's working real hard, because everything we do oftentimes we talk about is the South. You know what I mean? So I know Virginia is technically the South, but it's like upper South. So it's like from Virginia up, man. It's really important to show some love to some of those, you know, those programs, because it's not as easy sometimes to get those very large programs because the history is not there. So shout out to everybody who's closing out their year, and having my spring concert next Thursday. So I'm excited about that, man. I have a couple videos I'm gonna post up, man. So then shout out to all the kids at Science Park High School for, you know, working real hard with me. Peace out, everybody. Love y'all.
It's your bro.
Yep.
All right, so let's go ahead and do this one quickly. Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk. We have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversations about band, HBCU band coaching, music education, and more. Man, y'all go ahead and smash that like daddy as soon as y'all come in the room. Please don't ever do that again, Quan. Also, please make sure you subscribe to the Passion Is Network and turn on notifications, man. This episode will be up tomorrow on all your podcast networks. Just type in Real Talk That Talk, and except for on Apple Podcasts, where you can just type in Talk That Talk and it'll come right up for you. This is the last topic. I'm going to put the link inside of the chat so that you can come in and talk that talk with us. All right. I actually saw this one. I want to say about 3 days ago. Shout out to Meet Me on the 50. He was having this conversation on his page, and so it made me want to kind of bring this up and just have a quick conversation about that. So let's go. Have black band kids given up on band? Have black band kids given up on band? Portia, go ahead. Start it off for me. I hit mute too early. Yeah, but Portia, go ahead and start it off.
I don't know that they have given up on bands, but what I'll say is that, at least from what I've seen, the interest in it has diminished. And I can't, at least in this area, and I'm not sure why. I know the pandemic kind of hurt us, and, you know, they weren't able to have band. And so I think that may have something to do with it. But I think also now, because of social media, and the need for instant gratification, band comes with a lot of work. And I don't know that sometimes, I know sometimes, you know, they don't want to do, you know, months of work to get to that product. I know Derek, who works with us, Derek Wright, was, expressing some things on social media about how, you know, a lot of times they'll be like, I'm going to go get a job, or I'm going to go do something that leads to that instant gratification. Whereas band kind of takes an investment of time to get to a final product. And I even see it with, you know, a lot of the times we'll go into band camp with a larger number of silkettes, but when you got to put in that work, a lot of them like, y'all do all this? No, I made the squad, but I don't want to do band camp. I made the squad, but why I got to do all of this running, you know? So they haven't given up, but I don't know that the work ethic is always there to keep them engaged and keep them involved, because the gratification is not instant. So that's how I'll phrase that.
Okay. Quan, have black band kids given up on band?
No. In my opinion, no. I think we need to do a better job. And like I've always preached and talked about infrastructure. I've always talked about that on the show. And so I know a specific school district where, specifically in a low socioeconomic area, where they legitimately, I believe they have like 12 elementary schools in that area, right? They only have 2 music teachers at that school. Out of those, the schools is only 2 music teachers in that area. Out of the 2 teachers, only one has an adequate program, meaning they have ORF, they're teaching Kadai, recorder ensemble, so forth and so on. So then when you go to the middle school level, there's only one that has a middle school band program. And then the high school, uh, the high school that receives the students is in an area where students have options. So most of those students are bused to the affluent area where they participate in that band, and that band program has 200 or more students. So I think for me, it's not they're not interested, they're just not exposed to it early enough. So I mean, if you're introducing, like I think to Portia's point, to something maybe your freshman or sophomore year, you may not have you may look at it like, well, I'll try it, but when you don't get that, oh, I'm good at it feeling, I mean, you'd be like, nah, this stupid. And I've heard, kids actually say that. But I think if you are shown that appreciation for music earlier, you have a different love and appreciation for it overall. I don't think our kids have given up on it. I think we need to do a better job in exposing our kids to it earlier. And honestly, showing also the parents, which can help reinforce that the purpose of participating in band overall and the benefits of that.
All right. Rick, have black band kids given up on band?
No. I think a lot of black band kids have, especially in this generation, have been exposed to subpar band directors that have made their experience in band one that is not worthwhile. And to be honest, if I had to experience some of these shitty band directors that's out here right now, I wouldn't want to do music either. It's a lot of bad out there. And the worst part about it is some of these kids don't even know that what they're getting is bad. This question requires us to look inside and say, are we giving as a community, are our programs giving these students what they need to be successful in music? Yeah, we can come up with all these things that are valid excuses. Lack of support from the administration, lack of resources, blah, blah, blah. In New Orleans, them kids get their hand on the trumpet somehow. They get their hand on a trombone somehow and be some of the coldest musicians you ever seen. So why can that city cultivate all this talent every generation? And we sit up here and we say, things like this. No. Hell no. I was one of them black kids. Y'all were one of those black kids. Y'all got black kids, Julian and Quan. Your kids gonna be just as into music like y'all were because y'all are cultivating that in them until somebody gets in front of them that's, hopefully it never will happen. That's terrible and kill their dreams and aspiration for wanting to be a musician. Secondly, a lot of us got into music not only because we were exposed to it and we loved it, but also because we could see a way of making a living in music. Part of a well-rounded music education is showing a kid that you can actually make a good living from doing this. A lot of music now doesn't even use live horns anymore. So there aren't resources where kids can look on there and say, gee, man, that was my goal. When I graduated from college, I didn't want to be a band director per se. I did the music education degree because I knew it was something I would always have to fall back on. That was my plan. I wanted to play trumpet for Jill Scott and Music Soul Child. Specifically, I wanted to move to Philly, get me a turban. I wanted to be with Erykah Badu and all them and be up there looking like Keon Harrell, what I'm saying, playing trumpet. And Kristen Scott. I wanted to be Kristen Scott before Kristen Scott. All right, get an African name, Rick Altunde, and be up there playing trumpet, hitting them sweet, sweet, smooth daddies with the neo soul group. That was my dream at Norfolk State. I pursued my dream. When I graduated, I smitted Julie and got this job playing at Allentown at Dorney Park, and every weekend, I was either in New York or Philadelphia trying to pursue my dream. I was on the scene. I took my trumpet everywhere. During that time, I got an opportunity to play for and meet Maria Schneider. If y'all don't know who Maria Schneider is, matter of fact, she is one of the people that I'll put on my music list tonight. Go check out some Maria Schneider. She is one of the premier composers of jazz music right now. Her stuff is beautiful, y'all. I got a chance to meet Maria Schneider while I was doing that. It was just a great experience, but I got scared. I didn't have nobody pushing me to stay in it. Some months I would do well. Some months I'm eating ramen noodles every day because I had no damn money. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna have to use this music degree. And that's one of the biggest regrets of my life, is I wished I had stayed the course and pursued my dream. I could be Keon Harrell right now. I could be playing with Kamasi Washington and all these other people. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the next part. Expose your kids to something other than Lil Durk and Lil Wayne and all these little Lils. Get them on some Kamasi Washington. Get them on some Keon Harrell. Get them on some Terrace Martin. These people who are from our generation but are playing instrumental music at an extremely high level. Get them on some Robert Glasper, Houston native, went to HSPVA. My generation, not Quan's, he a little young, but yeah, all these people, all these people that are out here that are making great music that these kids just don't know about. And then lastly, no, the kids aren't abandoning it, because at the end of the day, we ain't had no. I don't remember no mass band for my generation. These kids are wanting to be around music all the time. Yeah, it's done in the way that they've been trained to love it, but use that same energy to train them to love other styles of music. Start a combo at your school. Yeah, you might not have the instrumentation to start a full jazz band. Start a jazz combo. Start teaching improvisation. Don't just use music theory or music history to teach, the history of white music. Teach them about that African music that Crystal talks about all the time. Teach them about how that led to all these different styles of music that became jazz. Congo Square, how these people, that was one of the only times where people during slavery had a day to come together and actually be around each other, a day of, or a few hours of freedom. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. Like, teach them something other than, dog, you hear that goddamn nobody does it better? Yeah, dog, that shit's sweet, dog. It's other stuff out there. But you have to be informed of what that other stuff is in order to get these kids, actively involved. Justin talks about this all the time on the show. And this is why I respect the hell out of Justin. Justin comes up here and said, we got to meet these kids where they are. Yes, you have to meet those kids where they are, but you also have to be the educator that you went to school to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to stop just letting them dictate everything. Hey, guys, all right, let's meet 50-50. I'll write that little dirt, but I'm going to write my chords in it. You know my music, Julian. I'm going to hit these chord daddies in there, and I'm going to explain to you what these chords are that I'm writing and how I got to what it is. But I'm also, if I give you that, you're going to play something by Herbie Hancock. Oh, Mr. Brown, who is Herbie Hancock? I got you. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be creative, man. Like, bring creativity back to teaching. Everything doesn't have to be black and white. Do it the same way every year. Collect that check, daddy, and go home. Actually, try a little harder, and you'll inspire these kids to want to do band again. I see Norcom. I'll end with saying this. I see Norcom Band in Portsmouth was like the beacon of black band in our area. Then up in Richmond, you had Huguenot, and what's the other one in Houston? I can't remember, in Richmond, but all over in Houston, you had Willow Ridge, Highland Springs. Yep. In Houston, you had Willow Ridge, you had Smiley, you had Cashmere, you had all these great bands that offered different things. Willow Ridge had one of the best, well-rounded programs in the city. One of the most well-respected, the best teacher I've ever had, his name was Dean Westman, talked highly about Ronald Thornton from Willow Ridge. He was one of his mentor teachers, one of his favorite teachers in the whole world. And that's coming from a guy who now designs shows for Blue Coats. He's the orchestra director at Avon High School, who's whipping everybody's ass and everything. He respects the hell out of Ronald Thornton. Cashmere had one of these swingingest big bands out there. Like, have different identity, man. Be creative. Be willing to do work outside of just what's comfortable. So That's it.
And we got Justin down there in the waiting room, so I'm gonna let him in a second. But one of the things that I was thinking about when I first saw this pop up on Meet Me in the 50, and I was looking at the comments, and then I thought about me asking the question, and I wanted to pose this out here. I also believe it's regional, right? Because if you look in New Orleans and Louisiana in particular, and maybe even just in the Mississippis and all that kind of stuff, you know, that you may get a lot more buyback from the chocolate kids versus, and I'm gonna use them as an example right now versus, shout out to Carlton Williams at Skyline. His band is huge, but it's 98 to 99% Hispanic, and it's black kids that go to Skyline.
But the other part of that too, Julian, is that the most successful black bands are near HBCUs. Like it's no coincidence. They have an HBCU there. Like you ain't never heard of no killing HBCU style band from Los Angeles.
What I'm saying,
I'm sure there are some.
The reason why I disagree with you is because you named, and this is why I say I feel like it's regional. You named great programs. You named my high school, Willow Ridge. You named Cashmere. You named Smiley. Like all of these schools are in an area where there are two historically black colleges and universities. So that's why I disagree with you. Because
that's exactly what I just said.
No. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is the reason why I think it's regional is because of the fact that if you look at Willow Ridge now is predominantly Hispanic, but there are black kids who go to that school. I mean, the numbers at Cashmere. What I'm saying is the numbers at Cashmere, they have a program. They ain't as big as they were. If I'll talk about Quan School. When I was young, Quan's Worthing was like 100 and some kids, 120 somewhere around there. Now, and that's no disrespect to Quan, but I'm just saying I'm just saying that I think I agree with you to some degree, but I think that a lot of that has to do with the regional thing. I think that maybe we need to look at what's happening regionally. I mean, if you look in I don't know, North Carolina, what is the percentage of black kids in bands there? Were bands bigger back during our time in North Carolina than what they are now? And if they were, then what's the rationale? Because I'm not gonna always say that it's always bad band directors. So I will say that
nobody has ever said that it's always band directed. What we've said is that there are other factors that these kids or other options now that these kids have. Like technology was so new when I was in middle school and high school. We actually had a class called technology and keyboarding to learn how to type on a computer. Oh no, son, don't use one finger. That was our generation. We ain't have no, man, I'm about to be a software engineer with a YouTube that's going to make me a couple million there because I'm going to have a channel for that. I'm going to do that. We didn't have that. Go ahead, Quan. Go ahead.
No, so it's like I think your points are sincerely valid. I think, but some of the examples that you brought up are some of the anomalies, like not being ugly. When you speak of band culture will never die. Let me understand, it will never die in New Orleans. I don't give a damn nobody say. We didn't have
I agree.
environmental tragedies that has happened, and then the next year it was like, say, bruh, we got to do Mardi Gras, you know that, right? And they've pieced bands together to ensure that they, that still is alive, right? But when as long as I've been in Houston, I've been a resident of Houston for sure. Now 10 plus years. What I've seen is I've seen the videos of the Willow Ridges when they were and the Grand Day, and then I've seen these schools trickle down to where they're the sizes now. And to me, even being an employee in the Houston area, to where it's like you got to fight to pull it back together. And what I mean by that is I look at you brought up the point about options. In the hood, they give you a lot of options, and I'm gonna say this word that's triggering for me, and that's magnet. A lot of the times they feel like, oh, well, I'm gonna send my kid to this quote unquote magnet school, and you think that it's better, but then you take the good kids who maybe were interested in band, and then you bus them to an affluent area across town, and they participate in those programs as well. Or you say that, well, we're going to turn this to STEM, and so then the support for fine arts is nothing. Before, like I said, before I got here at this high school at Worthing, they had 7 band directors in 4 years. If you go around the area of Houston, that's normal. That was normal for a lot of these urban and black schools. I think the oldest director is Mr. Woodson at Sterling High School. He's been there years, but guess how long his middle school has been adequate? The last 10 years, they really ain't had a program. So he's honestly starting a beginning band program every year. And like everybody said, with this generation that's microwavable, if you won't have a certain amount of kids in the band, they feel like it's whack already. So then they're not going to join it. So I think I agree with your points, but because I'm in the trenches and I see like what some of these band directors are going through. Like I look at Yates. Yates is a school, real talk. Historically, it was like them and Willow Ridge, you know what I'm saying, back in the 90s and 80s, right? They're down the street from TSU. They actually was using TSU's football field as their practice field. They've had literally, because I interviewed for that position as well, they literally say in 30 years, they had 17 band directors. How can you sustain anything with those type of turnover rates? And I think and I only can speak for this specific area, you can't sustain a program like that.
But that's not the kids though, Quan. I agree with you. Well, especially with that particular band program, that ain't the kids.
Right.
Band director, and they've had talent. They've had some talent come through the door as band directors. Right. So it's not the kids, it's just guys or women that made a decision to say, okay, I'm moving on. Whenever that was. Right.
But that's what I'm saying. So it's like for me, like I think we all agree it's not the kids. It's the environment or these administrators that's the cause and effect of why these bands are not sustainable. It's hard. I mean, bro, it's hard out here, and it's hard when you don't, like I say, when you got to build every year. Social media is like, it's so many things that is against you. And so for the band programs that are small, that are still trying to do their thing, that's why I support small bands, because I know the struggle. And like I said, shout out to Thomas Perry that's at Jarvis Christian. That's honestly, that's on everybody timeline, on everybody feed, on everybody trying to build that program, you know what I'm saying, from scratch. Doc Fred, that's Chisholm. He was there at one point, and I know his story. It's hard to build from scratch, and
but the thing about it, Quan, is this too, right? Like this question to me ties into the last. We gotta stop expecting this day and age band to be our band. I know we wanted to. Them days are long gone. When I was in the middle school band at Waters, man, I'm not lying to you, Quan. We had my 7th grade band had 100 people in it. That was just 7th grade band. 8th grade band was bigger than that. IC Norcom was marching 200 and 300 people because they were getting 100 people from Waters, 100 people from Map. They were getting kids from all over the city. Those days are gone, y'all. You know what I'm saying? And there's many reasons why. Like we've identified so many of them just in this one topic. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? I hate to keep going back to this. Quality is quality and standards are standards, man. Whether you got 10, 15, 20, 25, whatever that, or 300. All of us can't be Allen High School down there in Texas having 600, 700 people in the marching band, or Jacksonville State University. I wish we could.
Well, I think, and I want to say this and then say something else and then let you kind of finish up and then move on to Justin, because I don't want to be here till 4 or 5 hours. But I think you saying that is kind of difficult when people see that it is possible to still have those numbers in other programs. I think That's just my personal opinion. I think that if I walk into a program and I got X amount of kids, and then I look across town, but they got X amount of kids, and we know that people are still buying into being in band, then we start looking like, okay, well, what is missing? What can I do to be better? What am I not doing to get those kids? Blah blah blah. So
Well,
I
let me
think
give you
I
let me
don't
give you an
disagree with
example.
the fact that we need to get past the fact that that was the past, but I am saying that it can kind of be difficult if we're seeing that there are kids who are still buying in, and those numbers are still possible. I just think that's
I don't know if it's always. I'm just gonna give you a very small example, and then I'll get out the way because we just gonna have to agree on certain things and not on others. Back when I was in band, you had two options. You could either buy an instrument all outright, and most of us ain't had the money to buy that, or you could rent the instrument from a music store. Instrument rentals now is next to impossible. They really aren't happening anymore. They can't get the instruments with these shipping constraints from China and all that stuff. I talked to my friend
I
who works
disagree.
at them. Huh?
I disagree because and
I
only reason why
literally
I'm saying
just
that,
had a, I
only reason why
literally
I'm
just
saying
had
that
a
I just came
conversation.
from
Yeah.
a situation where that was the exact thing that we had to do, and most of the program was outfitted with rentals. So
Yeah,
that's why
that's your situation, and that was when I'm talking to my friend who works in a music store. I teach with him in the drum corps. He
I was
works in
saying
a music store right now.
like literally like the past couple of months. So that's why I
Yeah,
was.
I'm talking to
Go
my
ahead.
friend who works in a program right now. We had this conversation last weekend, and he was telling me how his store can't get instruments. He said the only thing they had was like a bass clarinet and something else. And I'm sure some stores may be better off than others, depending on the area you're in. Like especially with band directors saying, "Do not buy that instrument from Amazon or from Walmart or from those type of places. Don't buy that." So you can't buy that, the one you can afford. You can't afford the box Stradivarius that the high school band you're talking about, Julian. Those kids can afford. What other options do you have? Like there are many different things. Is what I'm saying that can play a factor into why a program is not successful or why students choose not. I agree with Quan. If I see a band with 10 people in, I don't want to be in that. And then when you got across town, like that's how it was when I was in high school. Churchland band, we had 44 people in the band. I see Norcom coming out with their 250, and I had pride, so I didn't care. I'm like, man, hey, let's get them. But in my mind, I was like, man, they about to put foots up in us. I knew it, but I wasn't gonna say it out loud. I was like, hey, we can take them, y'all. Come on. And I was playing tuba, trumpet, everything else, trying to make us win, and they was over there just, it was tragic. But yeah, no, I mean, it's a lot of things that play
I agree.
into
I agree.
right into why. But at the end of the day, man, these kids have options. And if they don't see the option as being one that's viable, that can make them rich, like doing a TikTok video that gets 10 million views, they don't want no parts of it, man. So we'll get the ones we can get, and we'll make them the best that we can make them.
I agree. That part I agree on. And yes, these kids they don't want to be in nothing that don't look hype. So that's just like when we go to the club. If it ain't 15 million women in there and two brothers and we try to get in, then we don't want to be there. If it's all dudes standing around, nah, we good. That party trash. We ain't trying to be in no parts of that. All right, man. Let's go ahead and get Justin in here, man. I know he probably got a lot to say. Rick, hold on to your hat. Let's go ahead and do it. Let's welcome Justin in. What's going on, bro?
What's going on, y'all, man? Y'all cutting up on here tonight.
All right, man.
Uh,
What's going on,
I
man?
have
What you got for
I only got 3 points, man, from the last three questions. The first one's when the band director showboating. It's 2022. The band fees off the band director. If the band director not lit, I'm not lit. Sorry. You know what I'm saying? I get what y'all saying sometimes, like it be too much and it should be about the band, but power clip suddenly. Y'all saw Mr. Taylor going crazy. You seen the band behind him? You know what I'm saying? Feeding off the band, Brian doing push-ups, you know what I'm saying? Like that's just a new thing. If the band director not lit, I don't want to be lit. Now you have some programs that have like a difference, or like they don't do that like Bethune. You're not gonna get doing band director doing all that. This. You're not gonna do that in some programs. But the newer programs and the most lit programs, that's gonna happen. The band directors should highlight themselves.
But hold on, bro. Hold on. You look. You saw how fast he got off that thing, Julie.
Y'all can speak
Yeah,
up.
because you touched. Look, you touched that
I
one
don't want
part
him
of
to
that.
comment. I don't want him to comment. I'm good.
That conversation went for 45 minutes. He pulled that one part out. We got to get lit. All right, let's keep it moving. What about you? The other part we talked about, people conducting wrong patterns up there, looking terrible, hands doing this, doing all this craziness. What about that part?
Man,
Are you saying that don't matter because it's lit?
Oh no! They ain't got nothing to do with what I'm talking about. But I'm talking about the band. If they conducting wrong, they shouldn't be in front of the band in the first place. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I feel. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm just saying, like, you really think that goes to that point we said on the last live. If I'm a engineer major or a mass comm major, I'm doing this band scholarship. You think I care about what hand he directing with long as, you know what I'm saying? Be for real. Like, you think I care besides the music major? Of course, you know, you got to do the right things, but long as we get the job accomplished, there's a bunch of kids in the band who don't. All right, that's the example. We bringing a song back, right? Tuba drum break. Everybody go crazy, right? But right before the loud about to come again, you really think that I care what did he go with the right hand or the left hand? I get it's wrong, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying from a litness standpoint, it's wrong. Yes, it's wrong. But leave that to people who actually care about it. In a moment, I really don't care.
But you're literally saying what Portia just said. Basically, what you're saying is, at the end of the day, all that music stuff don't matter. As long as it's lit, that's all that matters. That's essentially what you're saying, bro.
Not really, Rick. But I mean, like, yes, it's wrong. Like I said, if you conducting wrong, you shouldn't be in front of a band anyway. You know what I'm saying? So, like, yeah, but as for like, somebody who really don't care about it, I really don't care. If you just don't care, it just, I don't know. So something small like that, it ain't small. It ain't small. It's not small, but I bet I get more people who look at your argument. Man, that was fire. You seen the way he conducted that? All right, get out here. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I have, Justin, when what's his name? Lawrence Jackson walked across the damn field, patting his head, doing all this stuff. That was the talk of the HBCU band community. Of a 60-year-old man out there acting the ass.
It's not lit.
It was lit.
Sit down.
See, but this is the thing. This is the thing. Look, no.
This the difference in generations. That's
what I was about to say. This is the thing. That is what I was saying. That's exactly what I was saying. The fact that we are the 2000s people, we the old people. That's not lit to us. For them kids nowadays, that's what's lit for them. For us, it's like, man, you gotta do better than.
But Justin, he did that in like 2011 or 12.
There was an Alcorn game. I was there when he got.
Oh, we were still older though. We were still older. We look at it from an older.
What Justin is saying, he older than us. What I'm saying is, yeah, he's older than us, but he did that recent. Huh?
You said y'all said he came in on the wrong hand. Or
no. I'm talking about like the buffoonery, man, out there patting your chest, act like you want to fight the other band director because and my question is, why did he do that? What was it for? Because they were actually, you know why he did it? Because they was on Southern's ass, and that was his way of making it look like they was just doing something so much better than them. Anytime
Alcorn was dealing with Southern in
I don't know, Justin. I won't. You were there. All I'm saying is, anytime they feel like they in trouble back then, that's what they did. They acted a damn fool.
But this is the thing.
Something that went away from what the music was actually saying.
But this is the thing, Rick, and I'm not agreeing or disagreeing with anybody. But I'm gonna say this: yes, he did that. But you also got to take into consideration that Brian Simmons did the same exact thing at one game, and Brian Simmons hit the Wheaties daddy, and the kids went crazy. For us, we looking at it like, man, hell no. But for those kids,
you said the whole stadium went crazy.
I got that. I got the third. Listen, y'all can't walk. That's the part that I get. Listen, y'all on that side of the world, like, when I see y'all come back when y'all was the days, it's like. I get it. It's musical, and yes, that the 4K. Did you hear that? It's a different day and age. How Ricky used to say that. We talk about meeting the kid. Listen, meeting the kid halfway. I feel you, bro. You can have both. You can. Y'all don't criticize it. and we don't like it. So we'll criticize what y'all do, and y'all like it. Tomato, tomato. It don't
I
please
don't think it's
everybody.
that. I don't think it's that. I don't think it's the fact of are we listening to the musicality of it. I think the just more or less what this conversation is talking about. It's really on the fact of we came up at a time where band directors there was a prestige and a respect about it. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying, and that's
and
what
a respect and a respect for the craft itself.
correct. But my point
And
that I'm
dubbing
trying to say
is an art form.
right.
You watch Claudio Abbado, he get that same emotion out of the Berlin Philharmonic. You know what I'm saying? Doing not whatever, man. Go ahead, man.
All I'm saying is all I'm saying is this, and I'm gonna let you guys go ahead and keep going, or Justin, if you want to go to your next topic, you can. All I'm saying is this: I'm neutral in this on the aspect of I'm listening to both sides and I get both sides. My point in saying is at some point we have to recognize, or at least I've accepted the fact I'm just old and I look at things from an old perspective, even though hold on, Jesse, hold on, wait. Even though I do understand why kids get excited for things like that, I get it. But for me, it just doesn't hype me up. For me, that is a waste of time. For me, I want to hear the music. For them kids, I don't disagree with you, Justin. They don't care. They like, man, I'm just trying to get hyped. That's it. And that's where their brain is. So I get it from both sides. So I am a neutral party in this. I'm just saying I get it from both sides. We old, Rick. They young. They look at it.
So, Justin, does that mean that from now on, anything outside of rap or in your face playing will no longer be appreciated at these type of? And I'm not even gonna sway swag because there's other bands that aren't in the swag that play that way. So, are you pretty? I mean, I'm asking, bro. If I'm wrong, tell me. Does that mean that playing ballads actually like a ballad, not like it's a slow rap song, or having crescendos and decrescendos be that stuff that's no longer matters.
Nobody said that, Rick. These moments that we talk about, these beating your chest and the Wheaties moments, that was for the moment. And later Brian played Let It Rain, right? You didn't see him doing that. It's just for the moment. And that battle was called Crank Fest. We here to do what? Play soft. It's cranky. I'm saying so it's for the moment. I mean, I'm never gonna disrespect the crowd and act like the right hand doesn't matter. Like, you know what I'm saying? Playing with crescendo, skipping over them and just go. It does. But I'm saying this stuff is for the moment. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know, maybe just tomato. Like sometimes that keeps kids interested in band where we from. Where y'all from, they may do that. But I know what I'm gonna start saying. I'm gonna start saying that's why our bands are the size they are. That's why y'all bands are the size they are. It is what it is. It is what it is. In some spaces, it can come off as disrespectful, but at the same time, I be feeling like it's mainly.
Well, that doesn't necessarily. Go ahead. I mean, I don't want to cut you off, Joe, but that's not necessarily true because the two biggest HBCU bands play in the style that we like.
And
Bethune-Cookman.
FAMU always gonna be my favorite, but guess what's different about them too? They're doing what they do and it's lit for them. We love FAMU, Rick. That's the only thing. You know what was backwards about you, Rick? That I just don't agree about. Rick, you have all the accolades in the world. Like you can go toe anybody, probably surpass anybody. You was a dizzy, you know what I'm saying? But you don't beat your chest enough, and I get it. You're not in it.
But that's not my personality, man. Like it's never gonna be my personality. I'm not the type of person that's gonna sit up here and talk about myself. Yes, I was a dizzy. Yes, I've done a lot of things, man. But at the end of the day, it ain't about me. You know what I'm saying? Like I support, and Julian will tell you this. Though I be happier for my friend's success, Justin, than I do for my own. Like I told you, I've made the statement earlier in the show. That's what I respect. That's why I respect the hell out of you. Because the work you're doing is not about you. It's about people. It's about relationships. You know what I'm saying? Like me and you have never met in person, but I feel like I've known you for 20 years and like we the best of friends because we share a vision. We share a vision of what Black people, the experience of our people, right? And we share an experience of this thing we love, which is music. At the end of the day, your passion, man, will speak through your videos, through you going and advocating for bands, for you raising money, doing all these things that you're doing for these band programs. That's what's going to keep our bands going. Me sitting up here and telling people how great I am is not. And so that's where I am.
Why I said that, because Rick, a compliment. I mean, a critique from you. Our culture, how we do band things. Like I would accept it from you, Rick, because I know your background. You know what I'm saying? Like Rick said we playing with the wrong hand. I mean, you directing the wrong hand. You're gonna say because Rick Norfolk, you heard that drum section when he was there versus somebody who we don't know of. Or you probably was one of the garbage dudes that's standing next to you saying it. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's what I mean by beat your chest and just boast. You don't have to. You don't have to explain yourself to nobody. But in this band culture and in this sport, where your stars at? You're not ranked in this. Like, who are you? You know what I'm saying? So that's just what I mean by that. I respect all bands, you know what I'm saying? But I'm always hold down what we do. You know what I'm saying? Which leads over to my second point about band directors should highlight themselves. I'm sorry. I know it's you shouldn't put yourself in the forefront. It should be about your program and them kids. But on multiple occasions on the high school level, my videos then got high school band directors jobs because when they ask you applying for these jobs, do you have a video of your product and you say you can do this, so you do that, just go to my channel and see them in front of the band lit with the kids. You know what I'm saying? Even simply direct. Now I know it shouldn't be about the kids, but I'm gonna say in how band director jobs going on, and some people just doing it for the money, and some people just doing a terrible job. But I think you have to band directors forget about themselves sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta put yourself first sometimes because if you don't have a name, you're not gonna get a job and you're not gonna get in these doors that you should. That's just my personal feeling on that. How y'all feel about that?
I agree with you 100%. I have no pushback whatsoever.
Okay. And the last thing.
I mean, in any profession, you want to progress. You know what I'm saying? When I get this master's, I'm going after more money. I got that. But it can't be, to Rick's point, it cannot be to the detriment of those students. And I see a lot of that. Like, you got more camera time than whole parts of your band. I just think that's wrong. I'm not
a portion, they got a camera devoted specifically to the band director, just pointing at them the whole time. F the music that's coming from behind them. As long as you get this on the clip,
that's crazy.
The clip is lit.
This is their time. I had
what beat is this? What beat is that?
I don't know. I'm never gonna be supportive of you got more camera time than whole sections in your band. Like, I'm not gonna you can't justify that to me.
I ain't gonna try to. When you said in that regard, you right is right. I'm not gonna say yes. The band is more important than the band director. I'm saying along the lines of like, just I don't find anything wrong with the band director getting highlighted. I think you say more than because I do it all the time. Like I do like a Brian Simmons cam on the same song. I post it twice because people want to see that person cut up. Roger Glitter. People. It's a market. They want to see. That is a new thing. You know what I'm saying? That
you're right, bro. You're right.
So it just depends.
But here's the other part of that, Justin. You are not wrong at all. But what those people that want to see Brian don't realize is the hours of teaching Brian put in the band room to get the band to a point where he could go out there and entertain the audience. I said that in my response. I don't have a problem with a band director pushing himself. Like, we got to start making some damn money. All teachers don't have to be broke. Like, I don't know where that damn moniker came from that you got to be a starving artist. F that. I am not going to be no starving artist ever again. I'm not doing that. So shout out to Brian Simmons. Make your money, player. But what I will say is this. I'm sure you can go talk to some of them students at Southern. One thing they won't say about him when he was there is he ain't love the band. And he ain't care about them and their success. You know, that brother is not a me only centric person. I watched him teach a video, Justin,
that was at my
with some high school. Yeah, the high school band camp. Mm-hmm. And the kids absolutely got better in that rehearsal with him.
So when he was at Texas Southern?
No, it was at Booker T. Washington. I was doing it again.
Oh, it was at what? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The kids got better. And I heard the first note. It was not easy. That man had work to do.
They were playing that.
What if I told you that music wasn't in 4/4 time? He changed the key signature on it just to teach it to the kids. I ain't know. I got extend the video, about it. But yeah, what you saying, Luke?
Yeah, I mean, the brother is talented, and that's the thing, Brian. Like, Brian Simmons is there for a reason. Yeah, he's young. So what? That brother has talent. If he sucked, trust me, he wouldn't be there. That brother has something that he's going to bring to the table. And like I said, Paul Adams started when he was 19. That brother is, it's no doubt in my mind that one day he's going to go on to be one of the most recognizable. He's already one of the most recognizable faces in HBCU band. But in the history of what we do, people going to talk about that brother. And kudos to him and kudos to his staff. That's why I started the show just the day with a shout out to TSU. And I've never been a big TSU fan, but I respect the hell out of Dr. Paula and Brian and what those guys are trying to do with that band program. I'm seeing things at TSU I haven't seen in years. Excitement. They posted a video of that young lady playing the trumpet solo. That young lady has talent, and she's going to go there and make TSU a better band. I can't wait to see what they do in the future. Like I was like, give that brother about 3-4 years. That band it's going to be a destination. So I don't disagree. The only thing I disagree is what Portia said. When it just becomes about you and not about the success of your students, that's when I have a problem with it. Go make your money, band director. Shoot. I want to be rich. I am not going to apologize about that. I do.
I'm gonna think of Portia in the video and got the band director and the camera. Like, it ain't about you. I'm gonna just make sure I put about it. I got the push. I feel you on that point. You know what I'm saying? Which leads to my next topic, the last one, about that young lady you saw playing that solo went crazy tonight. Black kids haven't have not been give up on have they give up on band. I just left 280 of them. You know what I'm saying? All-star band. Like, it just depends on where your area at. You know what I'm saying? Like, you knocked all the points out the park, Rick, about the culture down here, and I just can't explain it. And now it's like we just rejuvenating it, and like you have to follow and meet them kids halfway. You got to do more than that. I went to 4 graduations in the last 2 days. You know what I'm saying? From kids I know I've been recording since I first started spending time when it was in 9th grade to their senior high school now. You know what I'm saying? You can't give up on them, or you can't I can't tell you band is gonna get you in college, and I'm gonna come to your games, and I don't come to not one of them. You know what I'm saying? The small things. You get a role that you don't sign up for, but you have to stay on it in order to keep this culture going. You know what I'm saying? And with this All-Star Band thing, bro, like, it's gonna be magic this year simply because I'm just in tune with everybody this year. In Virginia, have All-Star Band. I don't know if y'all know it or not. They started it last year, but hopefully got some numbers from what I'm hearing. But it's just where you at and how you put it to band. So kids haven't gave up on band. It's just a matter of where you at. And I know y'all deal with them administrations up there in Texas, because the stuff I hear they be telling y'all to do, I probably could not teach in Texas. But it's just a matter of where you at. Black kids haven't given up on band, especially if you make it exciting. Kids want to do band 24/7, 365, as long as it's fun, as long as it's like, you meet them halfway.
But yeah, I think you kind of just touched on what I said too. I think it's regional. I think, based on where you're at in the area that you're in, and more or less what the culture is in that area, I think that is going to dictate the gravitation to band in general. I earnestly believe, and it's kind of like what Quan said too, I earnestly believe that the culture of band is never going to die in Louisiana. I don't see that ever happening.
But the culture ain't dying in Texas. The culture is dying in Texas in specific places. The best bands in the country are in Texas.
But no,
in my opinion.
But
in my opinion,
I'm only talking about from chocolate folk, because I don't think the band culture itself is dying in Texas. Absolutely not. Hell no. Far from it. But I also don't believe that more of our people in Texas specifically, because I'm from Texas and I see it, are more enthralled to be in it. And that's kind of what I'm more or less alluding to. Are there black kids who are in Texas mass band? Absolutely. But if you look at numbers, if you look at New Orleans mass band versus Hum, those numbers are significantly different. And you may get a lot of sprinkle of Hispanic kids in Hum, and now a lot more than usual. Because, like I said, I think it's a regional thing. I think that black kids now in the state of Texas, and I'll speak specifically for Texas, then, just aren't as interested, and that's just That's just from one, what I see, and two, my experience. When I was at the high school in Dallas, I had more kids coming into my band room who were Hispanic than black. And the black kids who did come were more enthralled to go into playing football or basketball or whatever. As a matter of fact, I had a kid who started percussion, came to band camp, blah 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 blah, quit band camp to go be the water boy, no, the ball boy for the football team because he got a jersey and he was able to represent that he was a part of the football team versus being a part of the band. But did the Hispanic kids leave? No, they stayed, they roughed it out, and we went through a great year. So I just think it's just a regional thing, bro. And you may disagree, and that's cool. I'm
no, I mean, I listen.
no, I was talking about Rick. I wasn't talking about you.
Oh, about to say shit. I agree with you. Texas is football, man. Y'all is how football is in Texas is how band is. I'm gonna say in the water, not Louisiana. It's a whole different thing. But like, it's just night and day. I'm gonna go. I don't know. It's just a matter of your band director too. And
well, Justin, how are the high schools around Southern? Are any of them good?
They was at a point, bro, but it's like Baton Rouge is like losing. People not investing in I won't say that. For example, one of my band director friends, real good. He had Scotlandville band a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I wrong.
Okay, I guess I wouldn't say it's right. I wrong. I wrong had Scotlandville elite. I'm talking about just watching him teach. Put like this. Aaron started Scotlandville band when I started Smash Time, and I watched him grow every year that I grew. Right. I'm sure Aaron moved to Texas maybe for better opportunities and more pay and for less to work. Band directors don't get paid in this Baton Rouge. Like the kids up and down. Southern is always gonna be Southern, but like I don't know. But I'm gonna say this: these new band directors in Baton Rouge are recent Southern grads, so it's like a lot of young band directors. They're younger than me. You know what I'm saying? So in the next 2 to 3 years, we will see what's going on. But I can tell you one thing: what's going to happen. You see, if when Texas Southern be good these next 2 3 years, and that culture around Texas Southern become good, he ain't gonna have to recruit from nowhere else but around this area. It's Texas. You know what I'm saying? I just think now it's a new day and age to whereas we have something to look forward to. Yates literally around the corner from TSU. So I'm gambling on that and I hope it happens because I do believe some of the best bands in the country are located near HBCUs that have good bands as well. How is it?
That's what I said. I said it. Yep. And Julian told me I was wrong, by the way.
No, that's not what I said. I don't disagree with that. What I said is that the numbers of, and I went back to the black kids again, the numbers of the black kids, even though there are schools around there, are just getting smaller. I don't disagree with the fact that there are good bands or good kids that can come from around there. That's what I said.
Hey, Portia.
You know what I'm gonna do?
When I said exactly what Justin just said,
see, I can run
what
back.
Did he say?
Let me go ahead and run back.
Portia, when I said exactly what Justin just said, no, we know that I disagree. I was like, okay.
How is that? Yeah, I know they have a high school around the corner from Norfolk. How is that band? How is them bands around?
Booker T is not Booker T has. I want to be very judicial with this because my frat brother is the band director of that band. Booker T's band has never been like this, just all out brawling band. They just never have been, ever. And to be honest, the band that to me is the most like Norfolk that used to be killing was Norcom in Portsmouth. It's only 7 minutes away. You know, like you go through the tunnel, you're there. So to me, Norcom was like the beacon of Norfolk State. Why? Because Emory Fears started Norcom's band program. Norcom Rock was written by Emory Fears. That's the song they hold into the highest, tradition. It was written by Emory Fears. It's a swing. But I can't sing it off the top, but it's a swing. Like Norcom Rocks is, so they are, at one point, people called them Baby Norfolk State. Because not only were they mimicking Norfolk or made in the tradition of Norfolk State, or Norfolk State was made in the tradition. Never mind, Will. Okay. Mr. Fearstyle was there first before he came to Norfolk, but we'll leave it there. But yeah, so at the end of the day, Norcom was like the big, and our whole area, like them and Nasman River were the bands that people like in our area that were like awesome. You had Mr. Carson over at Nasman River, and you had BB was at Norcom. Norcom had a number of great band directors. So those were the bands.
Who your band director? Y'all was big like that when you talk about your high school. Did TSU have an influence in that, or was it your band directors the main reason why y'all was for that?
He talking to you, Julian. You up there trying to pull
I'm pulling up
video.
these receipts because you're gonna sit up here and say I lied. No, I did. I stand by what I said. So let's run the tape back, bitch. All right, here we go. Because I know what I said. That's why I disagree with you. Because
that's exactly.
Hold up, my bad. I ain't put the sound on.
Yeah, your weak ass internet. Let's keep going.
No, I didn't put the sound on. Smitty.
What
was your question?
Man, keep the show going. We gonna be here all night for you to prove a point.
Here we go. Yeah, we gonna because you ain't gonna call me no lie. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is the reason why I think it's regional is because of the fact that if you look at Wheeler Ridge now is predominantly Hispanic, but there are black kids who go to that school. That's all I was saying.
Rewind it back when you say I disagree.
I said I disagree because there were nothing but black.
Is that exactly? Hey, Justin, isn't that exactly what I just said? That Julian disagreed with me.
That was it.
Isn't that exactly what I just said?
No, you said that I disagreed.
Isn't that exactly what I just said? That Julian disagreed.
I disagreed because I thought there was no.
I didn't say because of any reason. I said you disagreed with me.
Oh my gosh! Do I need to pull up that tape too?
Yeah,
oh my god!
It's right
there.
Oh
my god! I'm just gonna keep pulling this.
Y'all must like brothers, man.
But no, hey, but you know, like back in the day, though, I'll say this too, though, Justin, while he continued to do whatever he doing. Hampton back in the day had a following.
They did.
You know what I'm saying? They weren't
the tunnel.
They
so to me,
I mean, you
Virginia State, Emory Fears.
When Mark,
right. So it's
Julian, we can hear you scrolling through the video.
In the next 2 to 3 years, we
Julian, mute your microphone, bitch.
My mic is not muted. I still am sharing the screen. My bad.
But Virginia State, when Dr. Phillips was at Virginia State's band was like the Hampton Roads area, man, is weird, right? Because yes, Norfolk has such a heavy influence, and Norfolk is highly respected in the Hampton Roads area. Like Norfolk kids don't have a problem getting jobs. You know, like when I got my first job teaching as a head director myself, I didn't get my job because of recommendation letters from like all these greats. I got my job because the principal at my school, Bill Gibson, who was his mentor teacher, is a Spartan Legion alumnus, is a Norfolk State Music alumnus. He gave him his first job in when he became a principal. He finished school for a principal. So he was like, I trust Bill Gibson. He wrote one of your recommendation letters. You got the job.
Yeah.
That's how I got my. It wasn't off the strength of none of them other recommendations I had from music people, and I had some good recommendations. That man said, "I trust Moby Dick. That's my guy. Hey, don't prove me wrong." And that was the beginning of my career as a band director. You know what I'm saying? Off of the strength of knowing the right people, bro. So
you say you might be listening to it, and we right here, right. Here we go.
For clarification, because Rick likes to try to overtalk, and then through over talking, like to think that he's right. Justin made one point. I agreed with Justin's point. And then Rick tried to say that I disagreed with that point. I didn't disagree with that point. What I said was that the number of black kids near HBCUs are getting smaller. Hence the reason why I brought up the other video, which was talking about the rise of the
Keep explaining or play the damn video. Come on, we ain't got all night. Play the video. You better talk and get on the damn synopsis.
I need to make
sure the video and let it speak for itself.
I need to make sure that I set it up because you are going to try.
We don't need you to set it up. We already know what we talk about.
No, you don't. Because
let me give the book report here, everyone.
Seconds later, you will forget exactly what
let me give you the synopsis.
Anyway,
of this particular situation. Boom.
All right. Anyway, so let me go ahead.
Yo, hilarious, man.
So here it is. Here it is. This is what Justin said. Go ahead, Justin.
I do believe some of the best bands in the country are located near HBCUs that have the bands as well. How is it?
That's what I said. I said it. Yep. And Julian told me I was wrong, by the way.
No, that's not what I said. I don't disagree with that. What I said is that the numbers of, and I went back to the black kids again, the numbers of the black kids, even though there are.
I didn't ask you to play that second part. Did you not disagree with me?
Thank you. No,
Justin, did I say why you disagreed?
Oh my God.
Rewind it back, Justin. Wasn't that the thing? Did I say why he disagreed or did I say he disagreed?
You said I disagreed to the point that he made, which was wrong.
That's not what I said.
Oh my God.
You said he disagreed the first time.
Thank you, Justin. You can't tell him nothing, bro. You got to be right.
You gotta play it back a little bit more, because if you played it back from the first thing when Rick said about the kids around the HBCUs, and you came right in after him, so you played it from the point that you were trying to prove instead of having Rick point. If you were trying to prove,
and then tried to talk his way into it. Well, Portia, let me give you just a little bit of background information here.
You see how he makes up stuff to try to because I never said the word Portia. So my point is,
I was just whatever. Go ahead.
Whatever. Yeah. We done with that. I'll touch y'all later.
I feel you though, but yeah, man. To the point, I do feel as though the best, some of the best schools around HBCUs, and as it should be, because you should have a influence on your neighborhood and your surrounding. Another thing too, I want to say before we get out of here, I do think that HBCUs should reach back more to high school. Sometimes you feel like HBCUs are on this pedestal, you know what I'm saying, and like they take. But I don't feel like they give enough to the community. You know what I'm saying? It's around the area. You can put a pep band together. They go to 4 different high schools around you on a Friday to play a little song for them, a 2 or 3. I know some bands don't do that, but I know some bands only do it when they're on a road trip. And they'll stop at a high school to practice. That don't count because you're technically using high school. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I feel like to get the culture. There's so many more things they could do, but yeah, that's my 2 cents.
Yeah. Make sure we get the black kids because the Hispanic kids. See, Portia, what you want to do here is you want to have the black kids and the Hispanic kids.
What we said was we were going to let it go, right? And we had moved on. But see, now he
I let it go.
No, you didn't let it go because you want to have your last little say so. No.
You win, dog.
No. Because we could have deaded it and let it go, but no, you want to be bringing it back up. Like you said, I was right. Anyway, all right, bro.
You were right, dog.
All right, man.
Justin,
hey, go ahead,
my man.
Hey, y'all are definitely gonna do some summer band shows, right?
Who, me?
You mean what do you mean?
Like an episode, like, okay, for example, what is a suggestion? When the summer band battles happen, because I'm picking up some crazy stuff right now. I want to hear y'all take on these summer bands, everything. So like song selection, like is they overblown, like what they think, the pros, the cons, the real and the raw. I think.
Well, I can tell you right now, they overblowing.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with that.
Gotta hear them first.
But
I don't need to hear him. Oh, I don't need to hear him. I got 5-6 years of clips to prove me right. They overblowing.
And I'll say this: there may be possibilities that we do that, but 9 times out of 10, Rick is not going to be on the show anyway, because he's going to be doing DC.
Yeah, I'm gonna be on the road, bro. I'm a caption head of a drum corps, so we go out. I actually move in on next Thursday, so I'm gonna be in and out.
I'll figure out a way that he can kind of come in, maybe do a video or something like that.
But here's my synopsis, John. I'm gonna give it to you now. They're gonna be overblowing, and intonation will be optional. There you go.
I don't know, Rick. I think we're going. Some programs are going.
Well, I want to hear this. I want to hear this Virginia mass band. You know who actually? You know what? I'll take that back. The Georgia mass band had a couple of clips where I could hear the fam influence in there, and then it went straight to the SWAC influence. It went right back. But there was a couple of clips where I could hear a concert F that was close to being in tune, and then from there it went right back. Yeah, it was close. It was close. So I can't wait to hopefully the Virginia mass band, if it is big, I saw Scar say that we should have like 3 or something like that. If it is big, hopefully they play in the Virginia style and don't go down there trying to be a SWAC band. Ain't no SWAC bands in Virginia.
What if they don't?
then it wouldn't surprise me
if they don't.
It's not authentic. New Orleans Mass Band and LLI, they are right there in the area of Southern. So for them to sound like Southern to me is authentic. We don't do that up there. Hampton doesn't play like that. Virginia State, none of them, Norfolk State, none of those bands play like that. So trying to gas and dick ride some other bands.
Their staff member consists of members from Southern, Bethune-Cookman, and Norfolk. No, Virginia State. So I want to see it. Yeah, I want to see.
Here's the problem that I have with
who from Norfolk. And we're going to do a class on how to say Norfolk on one of these shows.
He said
this Norfolk that y'all do, it make my skin crawl. But
people from that area talk weird anyway. Then Norfolk, like it don't sound like it's that's just I know we talk fucked up. We from down south, gumbo and everything. You ain't got to worry about that with y'all.
So who on the staff from Norfolk?
It ain't nobody from Norfolk. Somebody
he said it's from Virginia State.
Virginia State, Bethune-Cookman, and I know from Southern for sure. So I'm looking, but all of them are from that area though.
But but the thing about that, Justin, that me and Rick have talked about before, in the past behind closed doors or whatever, it's like a lot of them dudes be dick riding Southern. So that's the problem. The problem is you may have a dude from Virginia State that gassed Southern when he was an undergrad.
Hey Justin, the biggest fans of Southern when they went to North Carolina won't Southern folk. Them people in the stands was up there hugging. Oh my God, thank you, Lord. These 3 words, which was good. I ain't gonna take it from you. I'm about to say, hey, look, I want to preface it because they're gonna call me a hater. These 3 words was my favorite song of the day. I told you in that when I heard it. I heard a couple of clips that sound different from others, but we're gonna leave that alone.
Okay, cool. That was the same battle Norfolk was that, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, because my complaint with Norfolk was Norfolk went down there and did the same stuff we did when we were in the band.
Huh?
My complaint with my own band was that they went down there and played a lot of the same things that we played when we were in the band. That was the only complaint. I mean, but we always did that. We never, our 5th quarter book, I learned very little music for the 5th quarter when I was at Norfolk. Because we played the same stuff every year. You was gonna get that Sweet Love, you was gonna get that PYT, you was gonna get that Can't Hide Love, you would get All Right, and then they stopped playing All Right.
Is it hard enough folks for like alumni to pass out music? I would like to hear one of your pieces.
I don't know what it is now.
My question.
I don't know what it is now. I know during my time it was tight.
It was hard when we went there, Justin. Exactly. It was hard for students to pass out music.
What's the question? Well, Rick, that's not the case now. If you look at
I know,
we know it now.
The stuff we play, those students, they write a lot.
But back in the day, it was tight.
What's your question, Justin?
Is it hard for alumni to pass out music? Because I know sometimes on the other show, y'all was saying like y'all don't agree with some stuff they play is outdated. You know what I'm saying? So maybe if y'all pass some arrangements from Norfolk or maybe let more students arrange them, so you might get a different product. So
a lot of that material is student arrangement, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, like it's Norfolk now. We aren't talking about Norfolk right now. Let's be very clear. We are talking about our Norfolk when we were in the band. What Miss Sanders and Mr. Bethea is doing, I have no idea. I support them with what they're doing. What we talking about is the every year, Justin, I didn't learn much music for the 5th quarter. Mr. Adams are right, maybe 1 or 2. Like we got Contagious one year. We got Shaft one year. And right. That was it. Everything else, I was like, I already know the 5th quarter. I'm good.
If it wasn't in the field show, then we wasn't gonna play it in the stands. All our stand music was field show.
Would had a better book than y'all, but y'all think y'all the yams on them. Y'all think y'all was better than them.
This Norfolk definitely has a better book than we do because they actually play popular music.
Okay, cool. But y'all was a better band. I'm being messy right now.
We were a better drilling band. I can tell you during our time, we were a better drilling band by far. We were drilling our ass. Now in the stands, I don't know. That's questionable. But nobody
that's our priority. That goes back to one of the topics on the feature. We was about that field.
I watched that. Good show. I watched that.
Thank you. We was about that field. Now it's about them stands. So that's part of the shift. But we were worried about how he sounded in the stands, but as far as all that other stuff, no.
Well, y'all got some. Well, I know y'all that North Carolina. I'm going. That's my weekend. That's another full weekend for me. That y'all play NCAT that Saturday, and y'all in that Battle of the Bands that Sunday. Everybody coming. So like, yeah. On top of that,
everybody coming. That what you said?
Everybody coming. Yeah, because Kentucky State up there too as well. And it's a crazy lineup. State, A&M, and Benedict, and y'all. And I'm going to another one of y'all games. I gotta look at my schedule. But I know that weekend, I just want to see how you got to deal with A&T the first day, and then you got some other monsters. What you mean? Oh, I got y'all people A&T like that. But it's a show, right? Field show drilling. That's gonna be a good field show to see. And then the next day is a field show Battle of the Band. So we'll see. Y'all go to 2 shows. What's gonna go with that? That's gonna be interesting.
Did you ask? Are we gonna do 2 shows?
I'm asking. Yeah, I don't know.
You think we're gonna do the same show?
Shit, I see some bad do it. But I mean, this week I'm looking forward to seeing.
Justin, I'll tell you this right quick, bro. And then after that, we gotta get
all night.
During our era, we had Battle Fest, and we would do. I remember distinctly what Rick didn't do Battle Fest, but I remember doing Battle Fest, and the reason why I remember doing Battle Fest is because I crossed KK Psi that homecoming, and then we had Battle Fest that Sunday. We did a whole homecoming show, a full homecoming show, and we did a whole nother full field show for that Battle Fest that Sunday. And yeah, so you ain't got to ask if Norfolk gonna do another show. They gonna do another.
That was a real question. I never seen y'all like that.
They gonna do another show. They gonna do another show. I'm not even in the vicinity, and I can tell you right now, Norfolk gonna do another show. I'm telling you straight up, bro. So
and it ain't gonna be nothing that we did in the
previously.
In the past.
And they gonna sound amazing.
Oh, okay. You going, Rick? Please be in the building. That's gonna be a lit weekend. So yeah, I'm up to that whole weekend.
You know what? I'm gonna look at that date. I'm gonna see if I can get it.
I'm judging that weekend, man. But I'll look, man. But I don't think I'm gonna be able to make it. But I'll look.
We'll figure it out. All right, man. But I'm going, man. Like, great show as always. Good job on that feature. I learned a lot too. Y'all was up that thing throwing a lot of jokes. I'll let y'all later, man.
All right, bro. Appreciate you, man. All right, man. This has like been a super dope show, super long show. Man, I was gonna do commercials and all that kind of stuff, but I ain't gonna do all that. Let's just
run the commercials.
Okay, I'll run the commercials because we got to do it.
Yeah, got to do it. Stop being weak.
Shut up, bitch.
The wait is over. The U.S. Bands Adjudicated Battle of the Bands now has 3 new locations added. Sunday, October 9th in Montgomery, Alabama. Sunday, October 16th in Petersburg, Virginia. Saturday, November 5th in Raleigh, North Carolina. And Saturday, November 12th on the campus of Prairie View A&M University. For more information, go to www.usbands.org and we'll see you there.
All right, there we go. Ran a commercial. Real quick thing. If you were counting on Dallas to win tonight, that was not going to happen. Congratulations to Golden State. Rick, you about to say something about the Battle of the Bands? Sorry.
Oh, no, yeah. Come. Bring your bands. Participate.
Yeah, I saw you unmute, so I thought, I thought you were about to say something about it. All right, man. Let's go ahead and get out of here, man. I know Portia ready to go. She an hour. Well, not both of y'all an hour ahead of me. My bad, Smiths. So it's pretty late where y'all at. So let's go ahead and get ready to shut it down. So let's do it the right way. Portia, any final thoughts? Anything you got for the culture?
Coaches, band directors, everybody. We've all had our time. Otherwise, you wouldn't be in the seat. Make it about these students. Climb the corporate ladder. Get your money, because I'm going to get mine. But it's about them. And it's about making sure that they have an experience at least as good or better than what we had.
You always got some good ones. All right, Rick, any final thoughts? Anything you got for the culture?
Portia is Portia-damus. Nostradamus, but with Portia. Good job, Portia-damus. New music. Kendrick Lamar new album. It gets a meh from me. Sorry. I know somebody gonna try to cuss me out. A scale of 1 to 10, Kendrick's new album, I'm giving it a 6.
I heard it was like that.
Yeah, I'm giving it a 6. I thought it had some good tracks on it, but yeah. The track that caught me the most was the argument between him and Taylor Page. That was to me one of the most creative tracks on the album. But maybe that's a debate. We can get y'all to log on next show and debate me. But in my opinion, best album Kendrick Lamar ever came out with, To Pimp a Butterfly. It's a work of art, man. I love that album. So new Kendrick, go check it out, y'all. Tell me what you think. Let me give you a couple of good artists. I gave you Maria Schneider. Good album to start with her is her Sky Blue album. So here's the thing about Maria Schneider. She does not believe in this whole streaming service thing. So if you want to listen to her music, you go into her website, you can preview it, and you can buy it. That's the only way. She's not on Spotify, none of that stuff. She gonna see. She said, "I want my own money." Apple, Spotify, y'all can kiss my hand. You can get none. So that's how you'll listen to her music. But a couple people I'm listening to. The album released from this week that I love the most was that new Tank and the Bangers album. Have y'all heard that album yet? That new Tank and the Bangers album is off the chain, man.
Bro, I love them, bro. And that dog.
Yeah. This new album, Red Balloon, go check it out, y'all. If you into a gospel flow, go check out from here in Hartford. His name is Doobie Powell. Doobie Powell is really respected in the keyboard community. This dude is crazy, man. His chords is nuts. Go check out his music and some non-hip hop R&B. So one of my favorite rocking band, matter of fact, my favorite rock and roll band of all time is Radiohead. Like everybody that knows me knows how much I love Radiohead. Like you see Julian shaking his head. I love Radiohead. There's a group called the Nord Pool Orchestra. They did a bunch of jazz arrangements of Radiohead's music, and the album is incredible. It's called Radiohead: A Jazz Symphony. So if you want some really good music to vibe to, if you're in a chill mood, you want to read a book or something like that, this will be a perfect album for that. But go check out those albums. Doobie Powell, Tank and the Bangers' new album, Kendrick's new album, and Nord Pool Orchestra's Radiohead album. All those people, with the exception of the Nord Pool Orchestra, are African American. So you're also supporting Black businesses, as we always talk about on this program. Support Black artists, support Black business, support Black children. They are ours, So we want to do what's best for them, like Portia said. We also want to set them up for success moving into the future. Teach our kids how to be successful. Teach our kids how to make money, how to make good decisions, how to take care of family and friends going into the future, not just yourself. So support Black. That's it.
All right, and on the lines of supporting Black, I remember I told you that there were 2 Just Glaze shirts, so I just wanted to make sure I show the other Just Glaze shirt. Look at that glaze coming off, Just Glaze. So supporting Black, man. You can pick up your Talk That Talk merchandise at realtalkthattalk.com. Just make sure that you type in the code HBCU band and get 30% off of your purchase, man. We got all of the stuff inside of there, man. We got all types of colors. Just go in and pick whatever color you want and your size, and make sure you type in HBCU band and get 30% off your purchase. I really don't have anything else other than the fact that, man, this was a great show. I mean, the funny thing is, if you know me and Rick, we will argue with each other all day, but that's my brother. I love him to death. So y'all know that we ain't taking none of this stuff seriously. Make sure you guys check out the feature. Understand that the feature is not going to be every single Thursday. It's going to be bi-weekly, right? So they will not be back this Thursday, but they will be back next Thursday. Make sure if you've missed that last episode, go check out that last episode. Also, make sure that you check out Diver Lady Band Director. Crystal's got some great things happening. She will have, I don't know if she will talk to me, but if you haven't checked out any of her past shows, go check them out. Everything is up on the YouTube page at Passion Is. Just make sure that you log into Passion Is, subscribe to the network, and turn on notifications. On your way out, click the like button, man. That's what we ask you to do, man. On the way out, click the like button. Other than that, man, I have nothing else further to discuss. This has been great. We will see you guys next week.
Make sure you support the Black kids and the Mexican kids and all these kids.
We.
Boy, look at Portia at the bottom.
So late.